guys.
Hey guys, welcome to the Cleveland Moto Podcast, episode number 506. Light 'em up, boys.
Hey. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's right. We have effervescence out. Yeah. Delightful. So delightful. The lineup tonight, very good lineup tonight in the podcast. To my immediate left, we have
Dan Kromke.
And to his left,
Steve Sleepy.
And to his left,
Johnny Mac.
And in the corner,
Speedy Pete.
And behind the bar,
Tom Pennington.
Yay! That's our lineup. Been just a splendid day. It's finally become spring. So
I think we all rode here tonight, right?
Everybody except for John McElfresh.
Yeah, and we actually, you guys all assisted in the reparification of a BMW.
We did.
Yeah.
Yes, one of the highest tech motorcycles I've ever seen in my life just got fixed with a
crescent wrench and a hammer.
Crescent wrench and a hammer.
Perfect. I did get to ride once I got here.
Yes, that's it. So we've got all riders tonight. What a day. What a beautiful day.
What are we riding? Let's tell them what we're riding.
I rode here today, and I've been riding for the past couple of days, the brand new Moto Morini 650 or 6.5 STR, and that's their Cafe Racer standard bike with the ubiquitous Kawasaki Versys parallel twin 650 in it. And what a fun bike. I've just been absolutely enjoying myself. There's no complaint with that motorcycle at all. It just motorcycles. And I've only had a couple of days back and forth to work on it. It's been splendid. But what's funny is my day one ride on it with totally green tires. Yep, Thrust and Justin says if it works, it's not dumb. Yeah, you're not kidding. What's funny is with completely brand new fresh tires on it. And by the way, the batteries that come with the Marinis are factory sealed batteries, which on the case of this 2023 motorcycle, that means that factory sealed battery has been in a crate for over 2 years. And I put them in and put them on battery tenders. When I prep the bikes, I put battery tender leads on everything. So we hook them up to Optimates and away they go. And it's really funny that it was not at all happy. It was like crank was very weak, like super weak crank. So I'm going to throw 3 new batteries because I bought 3 of those particular bikes and they're all 2023. So I'm going to pop 3 brand new batteries in there. But this one did start for John. Started for, did you take it out, Dan?
John never turned it off after he rode it.
All right. So that's fine. If it starts up and gets me home tonight, I'll consider it to be mission accomplished. But both nights I rode it, when I got home, I plugged it into an Optimate at my house. So, yeehaw.
If it's anything like my Versys, and it's a lot like my Versys.
It is.
It only takes like one little chooch to start it. It's like...
It doesn't need much. And there's the picture, Sleepy, if you want to throw it up to the folks at home.
Yep.
That's what that bike is. And it is that livery. It's that red color. God, is it sexy.
It is. It's a really good-looking bike.
It's a really nice bike. And today, because we are breaking it in, we don't want to go too hard on it, but I did get up to 116 miles an hour today on the way into work.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Yes, exactly.
Is that a 6-speed?
That is a 6-speed. Yeah, it is. But it doesn't have any fancy stuff. It doesn't have a quick shifter. It doesn't have anything. It has kind of 2 sneaky ride modes, and that is that all of these bikes are set up. You can tell the bike that it wants to be this bike, which is an STR, or you can tell the bike that it wants to be an SCR, which is the scrambler version. And I did look it up, and apparently those are slightly different maps. So for those 2 different machines. But the dashboard is how you tell the bike what it is.
Yeah.
So the dashboard tells the machine not only how the dashboard looks, but it also tells the machine. It's the funniest thing is it does have tire pressure sensors, which I was very surprised at that. And that when you go to the information screens, which you can do while the motorcycle's running, which a lot of motorcycles won't let you go to the maintenance or servicey kind of screens when the bike's running. This does. So you can go down the road, 2 button presses, you're on a screen that tells you your tire pressures, it tells you everything. But, pet peeve, it doesn't tell you the ambient temperature. And man, I'm telling you, you know that with fuel injection, you know it knows the ambient temperature. Just release that. Just put the information on the dashboard for me. That's all I'm asking.
I'm actually surprised it didn't give you the tire pressure in like kilopascals.
It does, actually.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, it does.
It doesn't do it in PSI?
It doesn't do it in PSI.
I bet you
It
can
gives
change
it to you in kilopascals. So you're exactly right, Tom. Yeah, it does.
Can you change the units though? Does it give you the option?
I did. I changed the units on the home screen. Has unit settings for the clock, 12 hour, 24 hours. It has unit settings for miles per hour, kilometers per hour. It has unit settings for gallons or liters, but it doesn't have unit settings for tire pressure, and it doesn't have ambient temperature, obviously. So, yeah, so maybe I got to do more digging. Maybe somebody knows. But in any case, I was pleasantly surprised to find riding it that I could go through different screens. I could also adjust the brightness and darkness of the screen whilst motoring, which is pretty cool. It's pretty neat.
And all the ride modes, too.
And ride modes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So, which is funny because when you go to the Escape, which 650, which is the same motor as this, that one does give you 4 ride modes. And it gives you 4 ride modes on the dashboard. So you can go touring, street, sport, or dirt. Yeah. So that's kind of an interesting thing.
What
Kind
does
of
it do
surprising.
for dirt? Does it take away ABS and stuff, or?
For dirt mode, the intention on the Escape is that it is going to minimize your ABS interaction. So the ABS interaction is going to be almost non-existent in dirt mode. It might actually be off. I have to look a little deeper in the manual on that one to find out if dirt mode really does turn off the ABS entirely.
Usually they'll let you lock up the rear wheel, so you can like slide around corners.
When I was riding the Escape 650, it definitely did let me skid the back tire. So that's dirt mode. It will let do that.
I was playing with my Versys, and it won't lock up the back tire. Because I never really got too hard on, but I was like, this does have ABS. Let's see. No, it won't do it.
No. And it's really funny because when the Zero electric motorcycles came out, a lot of the reviews that came out on the Zero electric motorcycles said, oh, the rear brakes on this bike are garbage. They're just terrible. But they're J1. They're really good brakes. And when I first read the review that said how bad the back brake was, I had to take the bike out and I had to just crush the rear brake from 35 miles an hour. And I mean, I crushed it. And it's the ABS. So the ABS system will not let that back tire skid. And that to the rider feels like, oh, I'm putting all this rear brake pressure on, but I'm not skidding the tire. That's correct. You are putting a lot of rear brake pressure on, but it is not going to let you chirp that tire. Not even a chirp.
You can get it to slide going downshifting, though. I mean,
not on an electric motorcycle.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, so go figure. Yeah, go figure. So that's that. That's kind of a weird thing. But so I had a lot of fun riding the Mezzo, the 6.5. It was a pretty cool bike. So, and with the discount they're doing on the bikes, that's a bonkers deal. That bike right now, with the deal they're offering, is $1,250 off. And $1,250 off that bike puts that bike at $5,200.
Oh, that's insane.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's like an extra week of overtime over a TNT 135.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah,
You think about it, right? Yeah.
yeah. It's $5,300. Yeah, $5,300 for a 650cc motorcycle with a 3-year unlimited mileage factory warranty.
Dang.
61 horsepower, and you've ridden it. It's a good bike. Yeah, there's no complaint about it. So yay, that's fun. It also I haven't dived into it yet, but on the TFT display, there is a navigation setting. And as soon as you turn on the navigation setting, a QR code pops up on the screen that wants you desperately to aim your phone at it. And if you aim your phone at it, they have a pay-to-play navigation system, and they also have a pay-to-play telephone action system for your audio systems and everything else. I have not done that yet. Usually I like to spend an hour with a bike to play with all those things, and I haven't done it yet. I can tell you on my Triumph, it was not pleasant. It didn't sync up the way that I wanted it to. So we'll see. We're going to learn a little bit more about that. It's also interesting that the suspension on that very affordable motorcycle out there has fully adjustable front and rear. I mean, rebound, compression, all the things on the front suspension and on the back suspension.
You know what does not? My BMW.
Oh, really?
The front is just a couple of sticks. And
Oh,
the
really?
back has rebound and what was it? Rebound and dampening.
Yeah. So the front definitely has 10 for compression, 10 clicks for compression. It has 10 clicks for rebound dampening. So
that would be nice.
That's pretty cool for a $5,300 motorcycle. Not too shabby.
But it doesn't look. The thing about that bike, though, like if you were just riding down the road and like you see some of these cheap bikes and you're like, oh, that's a cheap bike.
Yeah.
It doesn't like. Not only does the price is decent, but it doesn't look like it should be that price. It should be a more. You know what I mean? Like,
we had a Rebel 500 in the shop, and that bike looks cheap.
It does.
We have a CBR 300F in the shop.
That's right.
And it looks cheap.
And on this particular motorcycle, another fun thing is every single switch on the bike is backlit. So all the switches that your hand might have to interact with, they're all illuminated, so at night you can read what they are.
That is convenient.
And that is kind of cool.
And think about it. As a manufacturer, it's probably like 2 LED bulbs that will never burn out just chilling in there.
Yeah.
So like all these other manufacturers are saving like 21 cents and not giving it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I wonder what the setup is. Is it like in the shell? Is there just one little bulb that shines behind everything?
I bet
Probably
you.
something like that.
Probably.
Like
all they had to do was make little clear spots in the lettering or whatever.
Yeah, just like a dashboard in a car. It doesn't have but 1 or 2 lights back there.
Now, Sleepy, when your bike experienced this incredibly difficult to repair, I mean, factory level response that we had to give it today.
4 techs out there working.
There
on it.
were.
yeah.
And I don't get on my knees for just anyone.
No.
And
It's much
I-
That's not what I hear.
Again, John coin slotted me.
Yeah.
So that being said, what was the symptom? Because you're driving over here, you were quite perplexed.
Well, I put the bike away. Mm-hmm. I've been riding the Africa Twin because I put the new tires on it. So that bike's been sitting there on battery tender, loved and cared for in a nice garage in the corner, fairly warm. And I took it out today, jumped on it, started right up.
Yeah.
Showed me 14.4 on voltage.
Yeah.
Everything was good. I checked tire pressure.
Yeah.
Jumped on the highway and I was like, let me use that cruise control. And it doesn't have cruise control anymore.
Right.
And then right after that, a big thing came up and it said, your brake lights are not working. And I was like, well, that's not good. But I'm already halfway there. So I guess we'll get there and figure it out.
Absolutely.
And so, a lot of the functions and things were all connected to the fact that that brake light wasn't working. So then I was like, it said, what did it say? The brake bulb might be out. But it doesn't have a bulb, does it?
No,
it has LEDs.
An array of LEDs, yeah.
So then it was like, And so, everybody started looking.
I'm going to
One of the single LED chips went out, and now the whole system.
Yeah, the
doesn't
whole
work.
system's fucked.
It's like an LED light bulb for your house. You're like, one chip goes out and there, buy a new bulb. Or just shortcut it and splice it. Now, I'm just going to throw this out there because, again, I am a bit of a forensic mechanic.
Yes.
I would not be shocked if while you were not paying attention, while you were at home in your house editing videos, that one of your raccoons knocked your bike over and then paid a goat to come and stand it back up again. Because the only way that lever could be bent, that it was activating your brakes last time, because we clearly put a little bit of we put a little bit of pressure on it.
They did a good job then because nothing else broke or whatever. I don't know.
Right.
It's really, but yeah, it was definitely the brake lever. And what happened was,
Wait, wasn't that the bike that came off when it fell over when you were putting it on the lift the one time?
other side. Other side.
Okay.
And I laid it. I went like this.
When you said it was broken, I thought it was going to be that you had just fixed it and now it was broken.
No. I went like my knee gave out and I just went like that and put it down.
You
I
walked
didn't
it
drop
down.
it. And that was on this side. That's on the other side.
I'm convinced he didn't have his official BMW sponsored boots on.
But you know what's interesting? Though is that it took like 1 mil.
Oh, yeah.
The brake lever's like this, and it has a thing that goes like this that actually lets
activates the reed
switch.
switch. Yeah.
And so the whole lever bent like that 1 millimeter, just enough to not hit the thing.
It just wasn't hitting the reed switch enough to tell that the brakes weren't on anymore.
Right.
That's all it was.
Which is kind of neat because it fails on.
Right, it fails on.
Yeah.
Yep. And
So-
we've seen too on a lot of motorcycles where they have something that interacts with the reed switch that metal arm might have a little plastic condom.
That's
on
what
it,
I'm
or
wondering,
a little rubber
too.
condom on it.
Yeah.
But once we got under there, we did see it was a little bit
cattywampus.
Yeah.
But you know what? It was in the corner. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It was facing
I'm with
this
Phil. It's
way.
raccoons.
How many Cattywampus units was it out? Like 1.3 or
It was
4.6?
0.8 cattywampa. Yeah. It wasn't even a plural cattywampa. It was a single
A Wampai.
cattywamp. Yeah. That's exactly what it was. Fun Bike showed up the other day at the shop. I was going to ride it tonight just to piss Pete off. But we got a 2024 Honda Monkey with the silver livery and the checkerboard seat.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, it's
That's a
so
good looking
fucking
bike.
nice.
Yeah.
What's hysterical? I walk out. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, now you've got the passport
Right.
and the monkey and the Dax. We're just 1 Grom away. And he says, no, I sold the
I sold the passport and I sold the Hunter Cup.
and the Hunter Cup.
Yeah. So I'm down to Monkey and Dax, which is actually where you want to be. So it's if you're going to be anywhere, that's where you want to be.
Well, while we're covering new bikes, who else has a new bike here that we haven't?
There is a new bike here that we haven't had a chance to discuss. Tell us more.
We talked about it last.
Did we talk about it?
after DGR?
After DGR.
Yeah, because he
How
wrote it.
I had hit 85 on the freeway on the way here.
Again, another Cleveland Moto participant breaking into bike gently.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's it.
We're really testing that warranty.
Oh boy, it's definitely one of those. It's that season where you're like, yeah, man. The bike I was going to ride over was the $500 Gucci
Oh, yeah.
because
Yeah.
we haven't ridden that here yet, and that's a bike I would really like to get everybody here to
It
ride.
looks so clean in the pictures you
It
keep
is
posting.
so clean.
Oh.
It is
it's-
frighteningly clean.
I almost took you up on your offer to stop by and check it out.
Grab
I
it, man.
hope to do that.
Yeah, grab
Well,
it.
I was telling Phil I've got to run back to I got to run back to my mom's house this weekend because like my entire family's coming into town, and they're like, "Can you come down?" I'm like, "All right, fine." And it just so happens I live in one spot where you can't ride. It actually is part of the bylaws of the place where my mom lives. It's a gated community. No motorcycles.
Sheesh.
And so I was like, well, I'll just ride the V11 because it gets 1,000,000 miles to the gallon versus my Element, which gets 18. And then I was like, wait, fuck. So here I am, a $500 motorcycle, going to ride it for 4 hours straight out.
Hey, I'm out at the front gate, Mom. Can you come out and pick me up?
Exactly. Come out and pick me up.
Please let me come in.
Can
Maybe-
you walk it in?
See, me becoming a motorcycle mechanic was all about becoming a rebel against my community.
Yes.
Yeah, but I wonder, that's a good question. Like, you're like, hey, I came to visit my mom. Can I park it at the fucking gate? Or, behind the gate?
I could. It'd probably get stolen and sold for meth.
Oh, it's okay.
It's West Virginia, dude.
Well, there's nice parts of West Virginia.
Sure, I think they're called Morgantown.
Yeah, there's one nice part of West Virginia in particular.
It's a suburb of Pittsburgh.
John Denver thought differently.
No, he was in the wrong part of the state. Actually, he was in Virginia.
The
He was just stoned.
what I would think is the funniest thing about that particular Gucci is today when I was dicking around on Facebook Marketplace, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna see what else is, I'm just gonna kind of see what else is out there, and I'm looking through Facebook Marketplace and I found a Moto Guzzi V11 EV, and it was in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh area, and it was awful looking, and it was 26,000 miles, and it had lived a hard life, and it was $3,500.
That's the hot dog cart one, isn't it?
No, it wasn't. It
Okay.
was black and gray or whatever.
There
yeah.
is one over there. I keep seeing it pop up with
Is there a hot
red
dog
and yellow.
one? Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
The Oscar Mayer Wiener livery.
Yeah. That's really what it is.
What's the BMW that Gorbo had, the newer James Bond one?
It is the 1200C.
There's like 3 or 4 of those I've seen that on
They pop. Yeah, those things come up for sure.
$2,000,
Yeah.
2,500.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem. Is it's a really great motor and a really ugly motorcycle, and all of the people that actually want to own them are kind of aging out.
Well, and I do also believe that for people that have ridden them, they really fucking like them.
Yeah.
And I've never met an owner of one of those bikes that either didn't love it or didn't just fucking convince himself he loved it.
Yeah.
Because he got such a deal, But yeah, I've definitely had the people that were, yeah. That's a real thing. And that's great. That's super neat.
It's like the same kind of bike they both.
Yes. Yeah. It is a
Fantastic, not very good looking bike.
The Europeans have this real weird idea of what American choppers are supposed to look like.
We're going to talk about that in a minute. Yeah. We're going to
But they're
discuss
too
that.
proud. I mean, like BMW wasn't going to just make a Harley Davidson Sportster knockoff. They were going to they had to do it in the BMW fashion. And,
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I think they should have, and I think they did right.
I do too. And I think that to be able to get that motor in there and to do what that motor does, I think they fucking nailed it.
Yeah, absolutely.
No complaint.
Well,
Yeah.
the subframe on that is my favorite because it literally is just 2 sticks out in the middle of space.
Yes, it is.
that hold the rear fender on.
And they hold the entire back of body, like the entire back of the motorcycle is being held on by those. It's the most amount of displaced confidence I had ever seen. I'm going to bring this up. Sleepy, if you want to throw this up so the people at home can see it. So this bike It has been. The price has been corrected, by the way. It's black and silver. This was listed at $5,000, and they have dropped it to $3,000. 28,000 miles on it. And
what's with the angle iron back there by the paint? Are those like
those I think are my grandpa's first attempt at bag carriers.
Yeesh.
Yeah.
You're right. To hold the bottoms.
Yeah. Those are self-made bag carriers.
Angle iron.
Oh, by the way, did you notice the upside down fishtails?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice feature. So the
because those absolutely don't drag on the ground.
No.
Well, he had to turn them because when he put the bag carriers on them, he couldn't.
He'd
fit
already
on
bought the
there
fishtail.
Well, that's the condensation.
I'd crank him out to the side.
I would crank him out
it cuts people in the knees.
And for those people who aren't paying attention at home, whatever kind of bag you mount on this thing, when the fat guy who owns it sits on it, it is definitely going. That muffler is definitely going to hit that box. That's why the boxes aren't on in the picture.
I would think that the muffler is going to move up and down the same as the box because it's sprung.
Here's my other issue. I don't know if anybody else noticed this, but if you look at this motorcycle, there appears to be a giant computer device strapped with a rubber bungee cord across the shock towers.
It looks like a radio.
Doesn't it look like a radio?
Looks like a CB.
But it also looks like an old ECU.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Could go either way.
I can't fucking tell by looking at the picture what the hell that god-awful item is back there.
CB, ECU.
I can't run fast enough to get away from that.
Yes, there is a lot of ugly happening in this picture.
Well, and then you're dealing with the fact that it's proper. Because what year is it?
In 98.
Okay, so it's before the hydraulic valves.
It does not have the sticker on it that says hydraulic valves, although I can't tell in this picture if it says hydraulic valves on the engine guards.
Well,
because that's the tattletale.
It could be the aftermarkets, though.
But who knows, right? Who
Hasn't
absolutely
ran
knows?
since 2001. So.
Well, the long and short of it is,
Pump the Benzino. What is that?
Right. I have absolutely no idea. This guy's garage, though, he's got a golf cart next to it. He's got 50 years of detritus, it's detritus or whatever. It's not in good shape. There's a lot of it. And then he did take the factory handlebars off and put wider ones on.
Detroititis.
There's a lot of Detroititis in this picture. Yeah, this bike has seen things. It's really, really an ugly bike. And I'm going to promise you that I'm feeling really good about our purchase. Really good about the bike we bought now. The bike I reeled in for $500. So yay, there's much rejoicing about that.
Speaking of cool frame things, did you see that picture that Liza posted from Rex Speed Shop? It's the old Yamaha race bike from like probably the late 80s, early 90s. And like the frame is there, but it just has a fucking baseball bat basically welded to the middle of it with the shock on the end of it to go to the thing. It's like they had to put it somewhere, and it looks so freaking crazy, man.
Oh, man.
Old race bikes are weird.
Old race bikes are weird.
Oh, yeah. I found you, since you were talking about finding Gootsies on Marketplace, I found one. I never thought I'd see one intact. 1990 Moto Guzzi California 3 in Gasport, New York. You want to see something uglier than that? It's right here.
Oh, is it really? Oh boy. Yeah. Man, it is not.
Send it to you.
It is not hard to find old men that butcher motorcycles.
Oh no, this is factory.
Yeah.
Here, wait a minute.
Hey, look, Liza got to run into Ewan McGregor and Charlie Boorman.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That's cool. That's pretty neat.
Did they run screaming?
Where was that? Was she in Europe?
Yeah.
She was at the bike shed.
Oh.
So we're going to talk about that in the podcast. This is kind of a big event that she attended. And one of the things we're going to talk about would be a bike that's being released at the bike shed for the very first time. People are going to see a particular motorcycle that we'll talk about at the end of our podcast. That's a teaser in case people aren't paying attention. Big fun.
Yeah, I think those are the big. Keep going, and there's one of the Yamaha with the body work off.
Yeah, that's the race bike. Yeah,
that's what that shock is. It threw me off, man. It was crazy.
It should, because
there it is.
It's fucking weird.
Yeah,
so,
look at this thing.
Pop that?
You want to throw it up? There you go. Throw the picture up.
It's like a baseball bat with a shock sticking off of it.
Yeah.
Is
And
that the cantilevered rear end or something?
Yeah, well, look, the swing arm has a thing that goes up around that pipe and comes up to the shock and goes into that.
this is very,
Was it like a
very
TV75 or something?
early monoshock.
Yeah.
Very, very early monoshock.
Look at all, they had to fit all the expansion chambers everywhere.
Well, the rest of the expansion chambers are falling behind the bike in a trailer because they needed that much expansion. Yeah. There's that much power valve. Yeah. It has all the power valve. Yeah. It's cool, but damn, there's a lot going on.
That entire tailpiece is just a gas tank.
Well, the tailpiece look is a battery house.
Yeah.
There's a moto bat up in there. See the moto bat?
all the electronics.
Yeah, all the electronics and everything are up there. Yeah, far away from the heat and the vibration that can do them damage.
But it's interesting. You got a good pile of friends.
Yes.
When I sent that picture to a dude today, and he was like, "Oh, when were you at Rex's?" And I was like,
Yes.
"What?"
Yeah,
and I was like, "No,
exactly.
my friend is." And they're like, "Oh, okay."
Yep.
Okay.
What's also funny about this particular picture is in the world of mass centralization that is dominant in today's motorcycle racing, this motorcycle has no concern for that. This motorcycle was built before mass centralization. If you look, you would never put your battery above the center of gravity of your motorcycle,
Right?
Because a battery is a particularly dense item.
So how many times has Dean Middleton ridden this?
You're right. He hasn't put the number 4 and 8 next to that number 1 yet, so we're okay. Everything Dean touches gets a number 418 on it. So yeah, for reals. Oh, that's fun. Oh, that's super cool. Very, very neat. Very, very awesome. Yeah, we're happy that Liza's over there checking out cool shit. Very, very fun.
We got a relevant
I wonder if
question.
she ran into Haley Bell.
Oh,
She
she
did.
totally did.
She did. Yeah, pictures and
Hey,
everything.
hey, come on. That's her niece now. I mean,
Yeah.
we're talking about she got to be there to be that Uncle Liza influence in that child's life. It's
true.
Correct.
Yeah, you got a job to do. She might even be the godfather for all I know. It's
true.
Yeah, that's
Or
a
the
real thing.
Codfather.
Could
So
be.
I'm going to throw one up. We got a question that I think Pete could answer because he was illegally posting pictures on the picture thread. But what did you guys think about the Wienermobile race?
It's fantastic.
I missed it. Is that full contact Wienermobile?
There's actually 6 Wienermobiles that Oscar Mayer has. And they had them in Indianapolis as part of the Indianapolis 500 festivities.
Okay.
And all 6 of them were on the track. Not obviously with the Indy cars, but they had
Now I want to see that race.
I can picture one tumbling down the bank turn. Just
there was a 6-way Wienermobile race in Indy. But then,
And Sean's not here.
Was there any wiener diddling between them or anything?
I don't know.
If you're not rubbing, you're not racing.
And then
Did
because
they have the Muff Mobile out in front?
they're all chasing a giant bun.
Ketchup and mustard are catching up from the rear. Yeah. Wow.
So after the Indy thing, they went their separate ways to go back out on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And there happened to be one in Cleveland this week. It was actually down in Medina. So I went down to lay eyes on the Wienermobile.
Yes.
And I think it was they had
He wanted a wiener whistle.
I did. They gave me a wiener whistle.
Is it as smooth as it looks in the pictures?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Oh,
It's all glizzy.
yeah.
Did you get to see inside at all?
Yeah.
Was it full of semen?
I ran into a Wienermobile. It was 2 young girls who were like teens, and they were driving it across country. And it kind of was. I thought they had like sleeping and stuff in there. Like it.
I didn't see sleeping quarters, but there was like captain's chairs, I guess you'd call them, and there was 4 or 5 of them in there.
Okay.
But there's this team. They hire like recent college grads to go out on the road all summer and just do events. They just go to.
God, that would be such a fun job.
Wouldn't that be
man.
a cool job?
These 2 chicks did not look like they were old enough to drink, and their job was just to drive the Wienermobile all over the place. I'm
Yeah.
like, that sounds great.
Well, they post the job offerings all the time. Like they pop up about the beginning of the year.
So
You
probably
can now
tell 'em.
spend the night in Oscar Mayer's Wienermobile. Okay. I don't know. I mean, I hope we're not going to step on too many toes for this, but hey, what the fuck? Here we are. It's a podcast. So yeah, for real, they've got a Wienermobile that's converted to a sleeper, and it's got 2 seats in the back, 2 captain's chairs in the back, and then it's got a deployable queen size bed in the middle.
Can we rent this from Mid Ohio?
Oh, that'd be awesome to show them. That thing.
I mean, what the hell? We're renting an RV anyway. Let's go for it.
Oh man, hey, we got a good day, guys, from Sydney, Australia.
from Sydney,
Alex,
Australia.
all right.
It's tomorrow there.
Top of the morning to
I was
you.
gonna say, like 3
Hello
o'clock
there,
in the
Mr.
morning.
Hearn.
Yeah, very cool.
We could
very, very cool.
totally rent the Wienermobile mobile home.
Starting July 24th, fans will be able to book the Wienermobile for a one-night stay in Chicago on August 1st, 2nd, or 3rd to coincide with the Lollapalooza Music Festival. Each listing is priced at only $136 per night, and booking requests will roll out throughout the day.
That's affordable.
It's extraordinarily affordable.
I mean, are
come
they
on.
parking right next to the concert? That seems like the jam. Hey, where you at? I'm in the wiener next to the concert. Just look for the giant
You
wiener.
can't miss
Hey,
me.
would you like to? Hey, baby, would you like to see my wiener?
So the
Mobile?
bigger question is if it's going to be in Chicago, they're going to have to make it Chicago style with all that weird.
That's
crap
what I was
on
going to
top.
say. It's going to have sport peppers.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No ketchup on that one.
No ketchup on that one.
Yeah, but it looks very cool inside. That's pretty neat. There was many years ago. There was a Planters peanut car. And I think it was done in the spirit of the Wienermobile.
That shit was pretty
Don't
nuts.
ask me where this comes from, but I'm giving a plea for all dressed potato chips.
We all love
some
all
point they
dressed
showed up
potato
here,
chips.
and then somehow I heard. I don't know what made me think about it, but I'm like, man,
I'm going to find you
where
some
can I
voodoo.
get some?
I'm going to find you
They
some voodoo zaps.
Voodoo Zaps just came out with like a spicy version of the Zaps
Yeah.
one. Holy shit, are they
Voodoo.
good, dude?
I just want. I remember
So if you
those.
guys want to, Sleepy, if you want to pull this up.
Yeah.
So this is the Mr. Peanut truck. And they've done several versions of this. And what was funny was...
I like
about-
the exterior roll cage.
Looks like the Buckminster Fuller Axiom.
I'm pretty sure those are pool noodles slathered in fiberglass. Because it is all
Veiny
fiberglass.
wiener.
It does. So this vehicle...
It kind of looks like the nuts that go under the wiener if you put it sideways.
Let's get the Wienermobile like right in the middle of that.
Oh, that would be great. Like show up, like redo the Wienermobile, put some veins on it and stuff while they're sleeping.
So
This is why we're not allowed near them.
one of these particular vehicles appeared on GovDeals a few years ago. And when I saw it, and it was not in good shape, it was in really bad shape. The fiberglass was all stripped inside. It was pretty fucking rough. But it wasn't getting any action, and it was like $3,500.
There was no action on those nuts.
No, and so I was like, I'm gonna bid because, come on, you're gonna own this thing. You're gonna own this thing for $3,500 or $4,500. I'd be a fool not to.
You've made worse decisions. Right?
I can't afford not to.
Can
do
you
this.
imagine? Can you imagine taking this thing and then putting one of your pagodas on the back of it to make it a Japanese funeral peanut?
So I was keeping an eyeball on it, and it turns out they've had a few of them over the years. Not shocking. It's living in the shadow of the Wienermobile. Yeah, that's it. Motorsmith Garage says, I used to think you guys are crazy, but now I can see your nuts.
Phil rode those nuts up to $5,000 and then let it go.
So this was one of those days when I was just kind of, up way past anybody's bedtime and just observing the internet from afar. And so I saw this thing going up at 35 Hondo. And so I said, okay, screw it. I'll throw a $5,100. I'll throw 5101 on it. So I'll throw Price is Right rules, 5101, let it fly, right? So throw it up. The next day happens to be my day off. Merritt and I are doing what we do. And we sit down to enjoy our breakfast and watch things of information on the television screen. And I hook up my laptop and I cast to my TV. And wouldn't you know, what got cast was the listing for the Peanut Mobile. And my wife looked at me and she went, not a fucking chance. She said, I want to let you know, in the 30 years that we've lived in this house, next to our house, in bold view of the entire neighborhood, has been, and she says, and I will start at the beginning, a 69 El Camino that looked like it was owned by Satan. A big red rocket of love, a.k.a. Ford conversion van, purely sexed out, ground effects, all leather interior, you know it. Not one, but 3 airport shuttle buses from various different towns and villages. Not one, but 2 school buses, a 69 Airstream trailer, a Honda Aquatrax jet ski. She goes, we have not had a single year where there hasn't been something awful parked next to our house. And we have a small house, so whatever we're parking is bigger than our house, right? So she goes, we've kind of been on a run because I was allowed to build a 6-car garage in my backyard. And I've got awnings now so I can put cars under the awnings for winter storage. And I now have more concrete than any house my size in Ohio, right? Places to park and places to move vehicles. She said, for the first time in 30 years, everything you own can be under some sort of cover. By the way, I have a 4,000 square foot warehouse in Parma that makes this all happen.
Right.
And she goes, if you think for one fucking second that as much as I've suffered, though, I'm going to let there be a giant peanut.
The squirrels would go crazy.
Can you imagine? You wake up in the morning and there's 9,000 squirrels in your driveway going, hello, right? Yeah. Oh my God. So she did. And I said, sweetheart, no, I was just testing the water. And she goes, no, that's how you ended up with 90% of the shit you own. Was you
I just threw a bid on it.
I just threw a bid at it.
I just threw like
I'm not trying to buy it. I'm just bidding on it.
And couldn't it just live in the warehouse and then she's none the wiser?
Sleepy.
Oh, it's just because you threw it on the
You're
TV.
casting ahead.
that it-
Again.
Yeah.
You're going ahead here.
It was on the TV, Sleepy, which means sooner or
you
later,
fucked up. It's like leaving Pornhub on your computer.
all those,
No, she would have preferred Pornhub.
all those
Why would you
weird,
watch porn like somebody normal?
all those weird hearses that are gold and flamboyant have at one sometime been in my driveway, right? To the point where the neighbors in my little tiny beautiful fun little neighborhood, all my neighbors come by and go, well, I just can't wait to see what's out there this week because summer's here. And I know that if summer's here, that means the weird shit's coming out of the warehouse and you're going to be getting ready to go to events.
But think about it. Even if you're just a boring person on your street, it's so much better than the shit like some broke down ass fucking RV sitting there.
At this point, I'm waiting for you to have me make a candy launcher so that when you drive things home, you can just launch candy to the kids as you drive past.
I have two neighbors that say, thank God you're here because it lets me get away with so much shit.
Oh, yeah. Do you want me to be like, Phil? I just won 5 motorcycles.
Dude,
what's the big deal?
All I want is one Sea Ray. I don't need the boat car thing Phil just brought home.
I've had neighbors come by and say, hey, Phil, I see you're out working on the yard and stuff. I got my wife with me. Can you open your back garage door, please? And I'm like, okay. And I open the back garage door and there's 3 hearses in there and 21 motorcycles.
Yeah.
And you can't fall over in a 6-car garage, right? And these guys are like, so see, honey? See?
Yeah.
Me wanting an extra Harley's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I'm not that bad of a guy.
I'm not that bad of a guy.
Look, 173 Camaro. That's all I'm asking.
That's all I'm asking. Right. That's all I'm asking.
It's gonna play fog hat every time I drive it, but it's just one car.
Let's circle back. So what did Mr. Peanut sell for?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Sweaty.
I did not research it to the end. I just realized my wife made an excellent point. She looked at the pictures long enough to be like, that thing is a shit show. And she goes, do you know how bad your Airstream was when you got it? And I said, it wasn't that bad at all. And she goes, and yet you built a rotisserie and did an entire interior restoration of a 69 Airstream, literally by spinning it, right? Like a hot dog on a skewer. And she goes, how much work would that thing need with its 20-year-old fiberglass and everything's cracked everywhere? And I'm like, oh, it would need a lot of work. And she goes, and where will you be finding the time to do this lot of work, man who works 60 hours a week? And I'm like, yeah, good point. You win.
I mean, you've seen how much I've gotten done on my own stuff in 2 years now, right?
Yeah, and you get that really long commute to work, too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We got a $10 from Swearingen
bought in.
Swearingen! Yeah, we do have updates on the effects of the tariffs. And the fact is, we don't know. Here's what I can tell you. What I can tell you is for sure the Chinese tariffs are definitely going to hit 30%. That's going to be a real thing. We already had our suppliers telling us about that. The weirdest one is the European tariffs, which in an unceremonious manner, he threw the gauntlet down at 50%. And that's terrifying when you're selling a $9,000 Vespa.
Didn't I just hear that 3 circuit court judges or something
shot
that all
they're
down?
playing ping pong.
They're playing ping pong.
But now it's going to go to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court...
They're playing ping pong. And before it went anywhere...
Chinese are going to win the ping pong for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of their jam, man.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. I mean, that's where unless we can get what's his name? Shoot.
Don't you know it's one of the classic blunders? But the
I was going to say Forrest Gump, but you went.
I went Princess Bride on that one. I do the dives. But do you know what was funny was we got a letter from Piaggio telling us to expect massive tariff increases on our products that we're buying June 1. But then the day after that letter landed in my mailbox, 47 said, we're going to give it a stay of execution. We're going to push it back another 30 days. So now everybody's like, they're in a lurch. Right?
It comes down to, because I've heard this from a little bit on higher than even us.
Yeah.
The reality is what everybody's thinking right now and wants to say is, make up your fucking mind.
Well,
just fucking stop.
Okay. For a long time, I used to play poker. And I used to play a lot of poker. And I learned a lot about poker. I spent a lot of time playing. We used to have poker nights at the shop, and we'd play for 7 or 8 hours with guys who were heavy hitters. And the one thing that I learned was it takes the people sitting around the table about 5 hands to know if you bluff too much. Right? And 2 hours into the game, 2 hours into poker night at ClevelandMoto, we knew who were the people at the table who bluffed too much. And so you could play differently against those guys. because they tend to bluff too much. It costs everyone a little bit of money in the first couple of hours to find out that these guys bluff too much. But once you find out they bluff too much, the rest of the evening changes. And I think that might be the situation we're in right now. Because you can't fight every single battle with the same exact tactic.
And the problem is you really have to be holding some fucking cards in your hand.
Again, there is that joke or that thing we saw. Let me show you everything in my apartment that's made in China.
Oh, yeah.
Let me show you everything in my apartment that's made in America.
Yeah.
They can survive a lot longer without American goods than we can survive without Chinese goods. So keep that in mind. Go ahead and throw this image up, Sleepy, if you don't mind. This is the Honda Big One, the 1994 Honda CB1000, a motorcycle that was definitely different.
A motorcycle
that was definitely different. I have never read such a interesting description about this, where they said the golden age of sport bikes, a period described as the transition from dual shock air-cooled 2-valve naked or bikini fairing bikes into single shock liquid-cooled 4 or 5-valve fully faired machines. This motorcycle is bigger than it looks in the picture.
Oh, yeah.
When they called this thing the Big One, they were not fucking around. In order to make this motorcycle appear to be in scale, it does not have 17-inch wheels. It has 18-inch wheels. They did everything they could to help draw your eye away from that ferociously big liquid-cooled motor that's sitting in the middle of it, and its overall splendid girthiness. Those forks that appear to be regular size are chunky.
Well, you know what's funny is that Kirker muffler is like the right size for a ZXR 1200.
It looks like a GP bike.
It does. It looks like it's like a stubby or something on the back. It does
look like a stubby. These are big bikes. These are big machines, and they're cool. They're cool in their own right.
One can of 2K really wasn't. It was barely enough to paint the bodywork. It was like
because all the bodywork is normal Honda bodywork, but embiggened. Right?
Yeah, it's big.
It's big. There's a lot of metal on that bike. There is a whole lot of metal. I got one for a song many years ago, and I had to plan, like I was going to put a GL1000 saddle on it, like from Gen 1 Goldwing saddle on it. I have a brand new Goldwing saddle for it. And I was going to basically make this bike try to look like what would happen if the GB500 got overfed. Right. So I was going to try to make it look older than it really was to add age to it. And I just got distracted on so many other projects. But this one popped up on our friends at Iconic Motorbike Auctions. And it sold for, in my opinion, a very reasonable price for a damn good running bike, $3,250.
What kind of horsepower did this thing make?
What, John? About 100?
I thought 100.
Yeah.
About 100.
Yeah, about 100. So
I mean, it's a Hurricane motor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh, it's the Hurricane 1000. What year is this? Oh, 94.
95 or 94.
Yeah, same. But yeah, they're just really. I can't not like these bikes. I do like them. I think they're cool in their own fucking right.
I'm trying to sort through it. We'll see if we ever get there.
What is the problem? What's it doing?
Well, yeah.
Liquid management,
smoke management.
Yep.
Materials management, infestation management.
Materials management.
There's a reason why Phil originally got it for a song.
Well, I mean, it sat for so long between the warehouse and my garage. Yeah. When I first, I cleaned the carbs, and everything, and I looked briefly in the air box. I didn't see anything too crazy. Fired it up, boom, like a mouse nest in the muffler for days. Like I had to push it outside and just let it blast out. So then, but I got it running, and that seemed like it ran pretty good and everything. And then I was running it, and it all of a sudden, boom, blew a fucking hose off of it, one of the coolant hoses, and sprayed all over my other bike. And now that bike doesn't really want to run right because it's soaked with fucking antifreeze. So I did that, and I fixed that, and then I've been running it, and I'm like, I don't know. It seems like it's actually fucking seeping out of the motor or something. And then I found out that the blow off for that was plugged, the overflow.
Okay.
So I fixed that, and then I've been running it more. Now it's smoking. And I'm like, why the fuck is it smoking? And it's not running. It's just
What kind of smoke? White or blue? What do you got?
oh, like white. Well, steam. So then it's like, oh, is this
And
a head
coolants
gasket?
went everywhere.
Right. So is it head gasket or whatever? But then there's definitely some like when you rev it, there's smoke. And then I went and pulled the air. I'm like, let me check the air cleaner again. Well, then I was like, well, then Phil and I had a conversation about how rodents can make their way up the tailpipe all the way into the engine.
Oh, yeah.
But it wasn't locked up or anything, so I'm not too worried about that. If there was a mouse living in one of the cylinders, it would have been stuck.
Yeah, you're right.
It was
yeah.
never stuck.
The pee alone would just...
I am concerned that maybe like one of the headers is just packed with shit and has never blown out. I don't know. But yeah, it's a thing, and I'm just I spent way too much time painting on it and everything, and making it like fulfilling this dream of what I wanted it to look like, and not enough time making it run right first. I did get it running right. Well, I thought running okay enough that I was like, oh, this thing's gonna run, and then I spent some time on paint, but now. But I did find out that the air filter was an aftermarket K&N. And the foam on the outside of the filter, there was a little bit of stuff. I did actually end up finding a few nuts and stuff inside the filter, but not towards the intake side.
In the airbox side. Yeah, the dry side.
But then I did find that the foam on the outside of the filter was deteriorating, and maybe some of that got sucked into the motor. But
That doesn't hurt anything.
that might not hurt. That might be where it started smoking a bit.
Yeah.
But maybe that'll blow out.
Oh, yeah.
But I feel like the carbs might need to be gone through again because it's a 4-cylinder.
And it would not take that long to tilt the radiator out of the way and pull those headers off.
Yeah.
And, I've done that on a bunch of bikes just to fucking be sure.
Yeah.
Also, if you got a cylinder that's spitting, you're never going to find out at the end of the 4-to-1, but you are going to find out at the beginning of the 4-to-1.
Yeah, it's doing some things, and I think the carbs need to come back off. I need to clean things out. I need to maybe just see if there's anything in the intakes and maybe blast a little carb cleaner and turn it over and clean the valves off a little bit in case there was some shit went through there. Maybe pull things out. When this is going to happen?
Next winter.
Nah. it was like a Hail Mary. Like it was like,
Right.
I'm going to dig in. It was one day I just manically was like, this bike's been sitting here for fucking, I don't know how many years. I'm like, I'm going to get it running and I'm going to get it somewhere. Get it out of my garage, get it whatever, in the wind.
Yeah. That happens, man. It absolutely happens. I'm going to tell you this fucking website, Iconic Motorbikes Auction. This is a shout out, by the way, guys.
Oh, dude,
unsolicited.
I love that.
Fucking unsolicited endorsement.
I can spend hours on that website slobbering over stuff.
The good news for me is that much like Gov Deals, and I can't look at there's things I'm not allowed to look at anymore.
So was that you and CB1, big one?
No, it was just a
Nobody
regular
famous?
one. Yeah, there's just a regular one. But what's happened is if you go to Gov Deals, you can pull my screen up. It's fine. I don't have my password up there. What's been popping on Gov Deals have been the Harley-Davidson MT500s, the Armstrong Motorcycle Company powered by Rotax. These bikes, I have one of these, and I have one of the original prototypes. It's a black bike, not a green bike.
Is that Gov Deals or Gov Planet?
This is Iconic Motorbikes auction.com, which is scoring much better than GovBikes has.
Yeah.
So what was funny is when you look down here, the first one that went, $15,622. Whoa. 20 years on display, which means every bit of rubber and it's fucking dried out.
7 miles on it.
7 miles on the Odo, 15,000. Then the next one, right? MT500, all the boxes, all the bags, all the cool shit. The weird bullpup carrier, for the gun we never. By the way, the scabbard on the back of this motorcycle was designed for a firearm system that the United States Army never adopted, but we thought we were going to, and that was part of the original bid out. Was they built these cases to carry a firearm that we never ever acquired in our military, which is also kind of funny.
So like an AR won't fit in there.
No, an AR will not fit in there. No, it's designed to carry something like a Steyr AUG bullpup
because that little part that sticks down is where the barrel goes. Like,
that's correct.
There's no way.
That's the angry end.
Yeah.
Right. And AR front end or M4 won't fit in there.
I like how they decided that, you know what, let's put the barrel so if you hit something and it goes off, your fucking
you're
your
cool.
foot's gone.
You're just going to shoot your heel off.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I'm saying.
That's going to keep you from getting. That's going to keep you from getting enlisted again.
They could have angled it like one more inch and shot the ground instead of your foot.
Very good. Yeah, that's cool. It doesn't matter because it didn't make it through prototype testing.
Oh, that's right.
So it failed hard anyway.
Yeah.
So anywho,
I saw those in England when I was over there. They were riding them over there.
Exactly.
The British military.
Yep. the Armstrongs. And Harley Davidson was, this was a stunning moment of hubris. I'm sure in one of the other podcasts we talked about it, where Harley Davidson was like, we're going to buy that motorcycle company because we're going to get the Army contract, and it's going to be 1939 all over again. Bye-bye, Indian, right? We got the military contract. So then this one pops up the other day, 312 miles. And I'm like, okay, the rule is the early bird gets the worm, but the second mouse gets the cheese. Okay? So
What?
the early bird gets the worm,
Okay.
but the second mouse gets the cheese.
Oh, got it.
Because the first mouse got trapped by the... Right.
It took a second. Got
So
it.
as you can see, my concept works on this because bike number one, $15,500. Bike number two, $11,000. And bike number three, $8,560.
In my RV, the second mouse was eating the first mouse quite ferociously. Like if I didn't clear the trap, there was no mouse left.
So the second mouse gets the mouse. The mouse dehydrator from the first mouse killed the second mouse. Yeah, right. Anyway,
He choked on his spine.
I just thought it was really freaking hilarious that Iconic Motorbike Auctions has weird stuff.
Yeah.
Really,
And
really
amazing stuff.
Weird
Like-
and amazing stuff. Yeah.
Oh,
Motorcycle racing history, man. Yeah. Really cool stuff. Really cool shit. It's very dangerous for me to go to that website.
Yeah.
That is an ongoing fucking struggle. For those of you who are in the know, Isle of Man TT is happening right now.
Yeah.
And just like when Oscar and I went years ago, it's fucking wet. They're having a real problem with water management. There's too much water falling out of the sky, and not the greatest time to be standing by waiting to get your laps in so you can learn the track so you don't die when it's race time.
Can you imagine, like it's your first Isle of Man? You've built up to this thing, and you're going to race. You're a young kid, and this is your big shot. You're getting to go to the Isle of Man
Sure.
TT,
First.
and then it fucking rains.
Yeah.
Like,
Well-
can you imagine the nerves? Like, you're going to have nerves just racing it, and then you add in granted, those kids probably know how to ride in the rain, but I'm just saying,
Yeah, they're
the
British.
first time you do anything,
Yeah.
you always have all the different. They're just throwing everything at these people.
I'm
man.
going to tell you, I have such immense respect for this race and the people who do it that you need every moment of practice you can get.
Oh yeah.
And if God is throwing water at the ground telling you that you're not going to practice, you're thinking about changing religion because it's important. Practice is real important. Keep in mind, this is 37 miles, and the average speed was 133.
Yep. They
And
broke
there's-
200 this year too.
And there's a lot of points on this track where 18 miles an hour is too fast.
Right.
So if your average speed is 133 and there's parts of this track where you're going 18, that means there's a lot of this track where you're going 200,
Oh, yeah.
It's fucking terrifying. But I got to give super big thumbs up to the fine folks at BMW, because the fine folks at BMW have fucking straight up donated a bunch of super bikes to the Isle of Man for one of my favorite parts of the Isle of Man race, which are the marshals and the doctors. Because before the race runs and before the practices go, you get the warning over the radio, you get all the information like, okay, the mountain course is closed. And then you'll see like a Honda Accord wagon or something blast by you at Plaid. And you're like, wow, that was something. And you're like, that's just like corner workers safety thing or whatever. Boom, going by. Marshals going out to a checkpoint somewhere. Cool. But then the ones that get my fucking attention are the cops, the firemen, the rescue workers, and the doctors, the actual fucking medical doctors that are on fire blades, and they're going 1,000 miles an hour.
There was a picture today of one of the marshals on the new BMW 1000 RRs they gave him, and he's by the Brer Hill, and he's about 6 inches in the air with the front wheel 3 inches in the air. Like
Ballard
he is
Bridge.
flying the
Yeah.
fuck out of that thing, dude.
Yeah, this is one of those things. Dr. Paul Phillips is kind of a celebrity there, and he's one of the guys that, we've seen Dr. Paul show up at corners where there've been crashes, and no shit, Dr. Paul gets a fucking standing ovation. He gets a round of applause just because he's a shit hot motorcycle rider, in addition to being a guy who's literally going to risk his life to get to the scene of your crash.
Right.
And nobody's going to get there faster. That is fucking cool. I am digging it. And they didn't just replace the motorcycles, they also replaced the four-wheel vehicles, which is super cool. I'm just very, very impressed. I think that was a really good move on the part of BMW to do that. Super smart. Absolutely super cool.
Is there still a tentative plan to go back in the next year or two? Not, I mean, obviously not this year, but
it needs to happen. We've got people on board that are right there for it. I tried so hard to do it last year, and I was even in touch with booking agents that are like, we are the Gold Star booking agent. We guarantee that you're going to get a room and a place and all this stuff. And those guys were like, okay, so here's what I found for you. If you want to go for the last 4 days of practice and you want to go for the week of racing, which is my goal, it's about a 10-day trip, 11-day trip, here's what it's going to be. You're going to be staying in these 5 different places. Okay? So you're going to move every 2 nights. And the one night, you're going to stay just one night, and then half of your group is going to have to move. And then the second half of the group is going to move to the other side of the island, right? And that's where you're going to stay for 3 nights. And then you're going to come back down to Douglas for 3 nights. It was never the point where we had like a house for 11
and
days.
I imagine with the amount of traffic and stuff, dragging your stuff around.
It's not cool.
No.
It's not fun. It's not easy to be a hobo in that time period. The best I could find was, quote, glamping, which are these 4-man tents, and they have a community shower shitter, and you are literally in a tent that has a plywood floor. And, you know, they got a cot in there, they got a blanket in there, you know, you get your stuff, and they got a place to plug in your cell phone. And that's glamping, and that's $400 a night.
Oh, my God.
$400 a night. Fuck.
For the tent or per person?
For the tent.
Okay, so that's $100 per person.
It's $100 per person per night, but you get nothing.
Right.
Right. You get showers shared by 800 people. They take over what we call soccer fields, and they put up 1,800 tents. And then they bring in truck showers, and they bring in truck shitters. And congratulations, you're glamping. And I don't know what's so glamped about it, but it's pretty savage.
I mean, you've seen my camping setup. That's glamping.
Yes. And when Oscar and I were there, it had rained so intensely for so many days that all the glamping people were just wet. They, like, despite having a quote canvas roof over their heads, everything they owned was soaking wet. And the ground that they were on, you couldn't set foot off of your plywood 4x8.
Oh, right.
Without going 6 inches into the mud. And so they were just dumping bales of hay into this mud to try and give it place.
Oh, that smells so good.
Oh, my God, man. It was awful. It was so bad. And we'd see guys that were like, their motorcycle was covered to the top of the windshield.
Mud and hay.
And mud
just packed in the wheels and fenders.
Poo and everything else. And their gears all just covered in mud. And I'm like, did you guys go over the mountain to get here? And they're like, no, we're over at the soccer fields at the Boy Scout soccer field or whatever, because there's so many soccer fields, and that's where all the tents are. Oh, boy. So, yeah, that's a tough thing to do. You want to do it right. You want to do it nice, because you're going to be there for 10 days.
Yeah.
And for us, the first time we did it, we didn't know how good we had it, because we were willing to throw some money at the problem and get the house.
Yeah.
And getting the house means that, 7 people could sleep there if 4 are willing to sleep on the floor. But that's the conditions you have to be ready for.
I'll sleep in the shed outside with the bikes. I don't care.
The patio was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
The patio had a couch on it that you could sleep on all week long. It was pretty nice.
I'm about
But
experiences.
The kitchen was awesome.
I'll sleep on a wet soccer field. I don't give a shit. As long as it's all part of the thing, I'm in.
It's all part of the thing. So, yeah, cheers to BMW, man, because I'm super excited to see that. And BMWs have been winning at Isle of Man recently, so that's really nice, too.
Knock.
Fucking knock.
Fuck knock.
Fucking knock. It's me, knock. His handle is carburized. Still got that super hawk knock? How's that 30 miles per gallon treating you, buddy? Yeah, I understand the gas is kind of expensive out there on the West Coast. We love knock, man. I wish you were coming to AMA Vintage Days this year.
Yeah.
Man, we'd take care of you, buddy.
Come on, bro.
Yeah. Show up. Be a man. Show up to AMA Vintage Days.
Phil has
Nah, you don't have to be a man. Just show up.
Just show up.
Phil has status on Frontier, so.
Yeah, that's true. I do. That's the weirdest thing. It was so easy to get Frontier status. Get their fucking credit card. Yeah, I get gold. I get Frontier gold status. I get upgrades on Frontier, which means like I get a seat.
Yeah. Guaranteed seat and two rounds of water.
I did get a guaranteed seat. I did get an upgrade. And by the way, they don't even look at how much shit I'm carrying. Like everyone else who's sucking it up on Frontier being like, no, that's one toothbrush too many. Right?
Yeah.
Go back. Your fanny pack's too big.
Oh, yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm carrying all kinds of shit on there.
Phil's got like 4 duffel bags.
Not even a problem.
So many people were hot. I mean, Frontier did it, and American Airlines did it. Like, sorry, you got to check your bag. If you're boarding Group 8, you're gonna have to check anything, And they're like, no, fuck you, and everything, And they're like, okay, we checked our bag, and then they get on the plane, and it's like, There's tons of room. We didn't have to check our bag. They're like, well.
That's the way it works, man.
Tough shit. Get the credit card.
Yeah, get the credit card. That's kind of what they're saying.
And they're so weird. They have that box, and I had a backpack.
Yeah.
And like it was kind of like it was wide. Like the shit I had in my backpack made it wider, so it was sticking out of the thing, but it fit inside of it. And the guy's like, "Yeah, you can't take that." I was like, "What?" And so I had to rearrange all this shit and shove it in there just to like clear this fucking a millimeter. And then just like John says, I get on the fucking plane.
Right.
I was one of 4 people.
Right. And you could have given that shit to me, and I could wheel it on a wheelie cart, and they're like, gold status over there. How much of a dick do you have to be? I would understand if like you're trying to fit a 3-foot thing into a 1-foot thing. Right. This was like a millimeter, like literally this much sticking off the top of it. It's ridiculous.
Phil's over there like, $20, man. I'll carry your bag on for you.
That's right. I'm standing up there taking tokens.
I used that Amazon
and the drug
bag.
mule's like, cool, here you go, dude, $20. Holy shit.
I used the Amazon bag, which is the perfect size for the personal item carry-on. Pack the shit out of it, and as soon as I get on the plane, I threw it in the overhead.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Fuck them.
Yeah. If you want to throw this picture up.
Yep.
All right. There's Michael. There's Michael Dunlop.
His official turn.
And he has his own turn now. So on the north part of the course, MD's, Michael Dunlop's turn. So how cool is that? I mean,
I don't like how unofficial that is.
That's how they are. They're temporary. If they were nice, people would steal them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're nice and people respect them. And they are what they are. They change colors. Sometimes they'll change the color a little bit. But it was funny to watch the videos of him out there in years past painting the posts where the barbed wire goes. Yeah. The fencing posts. And he's painting him. He's like, yeah, my dad taught me to do this. Make sure there's fresh paint on there so you can get your marker right because you know when you got to lean in, know when you got to turn.
The brake, yeah. Your brake
so 37 miles going around a course, 37 miles, painting a whole bunch of fence posts. Yeah,
but can that dude? I love him. But can he look like he's about to go to a pub and just start beating the fuck out of everybody? Like
so, one of the things that I did want to bring up when we were there, it's kind of like church. We talked about this before, and you do get to see everybody. You're in the pits. It's unchecked access for everything.
Yeah.
And when he walks anywhere, he's got a squad, right? He's got a squad. Most of the guys will have their wife with them.
There's a bubble around him.
There's a bit of a bubble. And so with everyone else that's walking around this place, you're like, hey, Hickman, hey, Hickey, man, you know what's going on? Sign my shirt or whatever. Yeah, they're super kind, super generous. When this guy comes out, 29 victories, right? When this guy comes out, he has got the 1,000-meter stare. And you think this guy's lost so much of his family on this road. And we're not joking about that. He's lost a lot of his family racing motorcycles. That out of fucking respect, if your buddies, talking to you, but that thing over there, like, and you'll tap him and be like, shh, Dunlop. And when this guy's walking through the paddock, when he's walking from the trailer to whatever, there's a fucking general hush. And you're like, yeah, I don't want to be the guy that distracts him. I don't want to be the guy that throws him off his game enough that he fucks this up. And there is that degree of respect that you don't get at Indy or you don't get at MotoGP where people are like, let's see how loud I can make this horn and annoy the guys on the other side of the stands or whatever. Fucking thing about Isle of Man is that it is so super deadly. I mean, it's the only race in the world with a guaranteed body count, right? Every single year, between 2 and 3 people are going to die. And that's the racers. There's also spectators that's lives are lost too. But there's this interesting sense of like, okay, be cool. Just be cool. Don't be the guy that runs up to him and asks for an autograph and fucks his fucking brain up. Very interesting. Thought that was really, really something.
When you saw these guys, right? Yeah. Because you see racers at a track and like a lot of these guys are going through the course, at the 1.2, 2.1, 1.8 mile track. Yeah. But this is 32 point whatever miles, right?
37 miles.
So what are these guys doing? What do they look like before? Like, are they going, like, do you see them kind of going like this and rocking through the track, or are they more just like, I'm focusing? And
when they're in the pits, I was actually fucking shocked about us walking through the pits and everybody that's in there. You can't tell pit crew from, racer unless they're wearing leathers, right? Because they're all working on shit. Mm-hmm. These guys are all mechanics. These guys are all self-spun guys. They're teching. They're giving last minute changes to the motorcycle. They're doing everything. You would think that these guys would be sitting in the lotus position with incest burning, just fucking trying to get in their head, right? But they're not. They're remarkably human and remarkably cool. But I will say, and Oscar and I were standing at this one particular spot where we, and we'll throw a picture up there, that we saw. I'm going to throw this picture up just because it really does kind of show a moment. So this is fucking stupid ads. This shot right here, if you pull this up and throw it up to the group, there's a yellow fence in the picture right next door to the Raven. And the Raven, there's been a lot of crashes right here because you notice the motorcycle's not touching the ground. And it's really hard to steer a motorcycle when it's not touching the ground. And in this particular case...
And these aren't dirt bikes.
Nope. And in this particular case, you're coming into this jump, this little tiny bridge, this adorable little bridge. And you're coming at this bridge, and some people have come at this bridge too spicy. And when they hit, when you're landing this, you have to be turning. So when your tires hit the ground again, you are turning. You're not landing and getting to go, hey, wasn't that cool? Not a ramp, right? No, when you land this, your motorcycle's already turning. Mm-hmm. So a few years ago, you see where the letter R is in the Raven? It's pretty high up, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a human body fit into that.
Eesh.
Yeah. And that happened in front of all those people.
Didn't they used to paint a target on there?
No, fucking no.
I heard that rumor, man.
Okay, no, they didn't paint a target on there.
Okay.
But
that was a Roadrunner cartoon you were watching.
But
okay.
There's a reason there's an air wall there. And when we went, there wasn't an air wall there.
Eesh.
Okay, because the speeds have gone up. And the likelihood of hitting that building has become a little more intense, right?
Yeah.
And Oscar and I were standing behind that fence all day long. We got pride of place. We got some people that were there that knew exactly where to stand. And they were like, don't be a fool. Don't go with those other people and keep standing deeper into the street. When the marshals come up and set up the yellow fencing, there are some marks painted on the ground. And they will set that fencing on those marks. And if you are in front of those marks, you go to the back. If you are on those marks, you're in the perfect spot.
Somebody just creeped up the driveway.
Yeah, really? We'll see if somebody opens the door.
Well, it's going to. I apologize to everybody watching because all cameras will be knocked over and the audio will be destroyed. If it's who I think it is.
Oh, you think? Okay.
I mean, it could be.
All right, it could be. All right, fair enough. But the year that we were watching, John McGuinness had a technical. And so he had a technical. He stopped racing. He stopped riding. And when he stopped riding, everybody was like, this is the coolest guy in the world who literally just broke down in front of us. He was not broken down for 10 seconds when he jumped off the motorcycle. He had the biggest look of, like, my life is easy now. And he said, did anybody get a cigarette and a beer? I left them on my other pants.
Holy shit.
Hey, look at that. We got a grumpy sewer guy in the house. Woohoo! Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Don't be sorry at all. You're here, buddy.
Planting grapes and
You're planting grapes.
You were planting tulips.
Concrete or Concord?
nope, I was doing Syrahs.
Oh, Syrah. Ooh, fancy.
So
Okay,
I do
Syrahs.
Concords too, but
I have Concord, but the problem is the raccoons get there before I do.
yeah.
Yeah, so they left me one grape.
There's so much out at the compound that I can't run over with my quad runner. It's quite annoying.
I've killed 25 out there, so there's probably like
Right.
a million. So
Yeah, they're probably a million. Yeah, I've decided, Merritt and I have had a discussion about the grape arbor, and we're like, well, you know what, they get it. That's fine. You know, we're not trying to, we can buy grapes. You know, we don't need to have the all-night 24-hour raccoon shooting gallery.
Steve's doing a lot of planting. It's really pretty impressive. You got what? Horseradish, peppers, grapes,
my plan is to have
a victory
black
garden.
to do mostly black raspberries.
Oh, cool.
Because it's a big thing now. Plus, I have a really good strain of black raspberries I've been growing for like 20 years. And so I have peppers,
Strain?
watermelon, pumpkin, cantaloupe, corn. I have 2 different kinds of heirloom corn, potatoes, Kennebec potatoes. Mm-hmm. And then I have 3 apple trees. I planted figs.
Jesus.
And I'm trying my hand at these grapes.
Yeah.
Concords are what most people grow around here.
Sure, yeah, they grow
But
naturally
They said
here.
that Cleveland is actually a good environment to grow the ones that I want to grow.
We've changed our zone. Our zone has become warmer now. So now we can get into different varietals, which is pretty cool.
It's a regular cornhucopia out
It is
there.
a cornucopia. You have a limitless supply of good fertilizer out there, so
Yeah, but the soil is like, this guy built his house on like a landfill.
oh really?
I mean, there's so much debris in the ground. So I've been pulling a lot of the stuff out.
Probably going to be pulling pieces of barn out of there for the next 20 years.
No, that's melted down to China. So.
No chance of that at all.
From what I heard, there's a fire still burning under his property somewhere.
Yeah, it's like that town in Pennsylvania, that cold town that's burning.
absolutely. Yeah, that is a real thing.
Steve just got God's mower.
Oh, what did you get, Steve?
I got they had an auction. We auctioned off our old Kubota
Zero turn.
diesel
Nice.
zero turn.
Oh man,
Z25.
And so I got I got it for like $2,000.
that is awesome. Oh,
So
good for you.
It's a great mower. I mean,
Yeah.
It's a 25 horsepower, 60-inch deck.
Yeah,
But man, I love that mower. I've been mowing on that thing for since we got it,
yeah.
and it was just worn out and electrical issues and bad transmission and.
And I'm sure you didn't cause those electrical issues to make sure you got a good price.
No, there was a
Yeah.
serious electrical issue. We replaced the alternator on it. We replaced
Yeah.
the rectifier. We did a ton of stuff to
Oh,
it.
so you're saying it was a Suzuki?
Yeah. So
We didn't tank the auction. I mean, I cleaned that thing up and serviced it last. We were going to try to use it this year,
Right.
so it looked fantastic. I felt bad. I'm like, we should have got it muddy or something.
Oh, you definitely should have got it ready for the auction.
But he got a really good price for it still, anyway. So whatever.
I mean, but it's an open auction and it has an extended time. So if anybody really wanted it,
They'll keep it going.
right.
Yeah.
So there's no. I mean, it's not. You're not ripping anybody off. I mean, if you bid X amount of dollars and
Right.
they can outbid you at any time, and then it extends the auction for 3 more minutes.
Right.
So it's not like you can't snipe it.
No, I think that's the way the government auctions are all running because
They should run like that
Yeah.
because that way
there's
it's
interest.
fair.
Yeah, there's interest. Keep going.
But there's also something on Gov Deals that I really want to get.
Currently,
Yeah, it's a Rolls Royce.
Is it a tank? It has to be a tank.
Oh,
is that the M41?
It's a 76 Silver Shadow.
Oh God! Oh Jesus Christ!
Well, you know what's going to happen. Remember, like when he got into vintage bikes, it was 1, 2, 100.
Yes.
So now it's going to be weird vintage cars, which is going to.
man.
He's already gone.
Right. Exactly, man. Like,
Yeah, what about the BMW and the dump truck and the thing and the other BMW?
Yeah. It's just it never ends well. Silver Shadow, meticulously maintained. It says. Oh my!
Oh, we got to
God.
see it. You got it?
Nah, whatever.
It's poo brown.
And it's not a good color,
It is
but
poop brown.
It's perfect. Put number 2 on the side. It is great to go.
The golden wings of ecstasy. This is truly a Rodney Dangerfield special here, man. You know, it's got the Landau top.
but the interior is
Oh, it's got to be
beautiful.
white virgin lambskin.
If you
right?
buy it, you get a free bowl of soup.
It looks good on you though.
Anything with double headlights is fine with me.
Anything with double headlights is fine. I will tell you, Mr. Hoffer, this is a very dignified looking car. Yeah, is this a 1976 too? This is the height of the gas crunch. Yeah.
I'll tear that engine out and put a 3-cylinder Yanmar.
Oh no, but
It is clean looking, man.
I will tell you that Prindle looks remarkably American. I wonder if there is an American powertrain hiding under this thing.
No, I think it's the original.
It is at the original Rolls-Royce
like
engine?
a 6.8 or something.
Yep. Oh, damn. That is a beautiful car, man. That is a beautiful car. Buy it now is only $25,000. So, you know.
Well, yeah, and this is not even a project car. This is just take it and
The
drive
buy
it.
it now is
The
25.
buy it now is $25,000.
because it went last time and the guy didn't show up for it.
Right, it
went for like $13,000.
Probably because the seller was completely dissatisfied with that much money. I love the wool carpet in the trunk that looks like it's nicer than the carpet in my house by far. Yeah. It's a very, very sexy car.
Where? Oh, Virginia.
Yeah, in the great state of Virginia. Yeah,
It's only like 6 hours
98,000 miles. Come on, man. Come on. That's awesome. That's great. But I'm telling you, if his reserve is 25K, I don't think he's going to meet reserve.
Well, I don't get why now it's 25 when it sold last time for 13.
Because you can have a buy it now and not put a reserve or set a different reserve.
Absolutely.
Because if somebody's stupid enough to pay $25,000,
Right. Oh,
hey.
hey, bring it on.
Yeah.
But my reserve might be 15.
Right.
Right. But if I got some guy, swinging big energy around, if he wants to pay for 2,500, he can get to the front of the line.
I mean, there's a dude out there that has the suit that matches that car perfectly. He might be willing to spend $25,000 to just complete it.
I tried to buy a 1985 Hearse version of this same car, which is pretty spectacular in its own right, and it was listed for sale at a museum in Texas. Yeah, right.
I definitely, he's right. I was probably wrong.
Yeah, that is a project car. Yeah, they're all project cars.
Yeah.
That is true. I tried to buy a hearse, and one caliper was stuck on the hearse, and so it was like it got a clean bill of health. It was blue with gray leather interior and a gray top on the hearse part, and it wasn't even a weird ornate hearse freaky thing. It just looked like a really fancy station wagon, and it went for about $8,500, $9,000, and I was like, I can own a Rolls Royce for $9,000. And then in the very, very small notes in the small print, it said, "We believe that the right front caliper is stuck. It runs, but you shouldn't drive it until you address the right front caliper." So I said, well, how bad can that be? Mm-hmm. And then I learned everything that you need to know about Rolls-Royce braking systems, including that the calipers did have a tendency to stick, and that it should be replaced, and that they're $3,000 each. And I went, a $3,000 caliper is a very expensive caliper. And there's 4 of them on that car.
Yeah.
That sucks.
I imagine that any part on that car is not cheap, except for like the very,
Right. And I imagine that's why oil barons and whatnot, this was the car of the oil barons. This was the car of the sheiks and everything else, because they would drive it for 10 or 15, 20 years out in the desert. Very tough car, very durable car. But then when things started breaking, well, they didn't care. They got another one.
It's just like owning a Ducati. As soon as you have to service it, it's time to get rid of it.
Oh, they pulled it with their camels.
Yeah.
So I think it's a beautiful, beautiful car, and I'm gonna guess his reserve is probably around 15.
Redoc, I swear to all the old Pope mobiles.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
You need a Pope mobile, Phil. That's got to be a goal now.
I swear to fucking God,
Where's the Vatican Gov deals?
Vatican Gov deals. There's got to be a Vatican Gov deals. There's got to be. There has just got calf deals. Calf deals. Oh, man.
I see a Century would be better though.
Right. Well, there's a few I'm looking at.
I could get behind you buying a Century, but not that Rolls Royce.
No, I'm looking at a couple of Centuries right now.
I'm not going to buy it. I'm just saying that it's just a nice looking.
There's a Century hearse right now in Yokohama that I've been keeping my eyeballs on, because what's better than a Century is a Century 2 people can sleep in. And that's not too bad. And it's a 4-door too, so it's a long wheelbase.
I just had a total vision of Steve owning that Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
Him and his wife, they go to a nice dinner, and she gets out and she's dressed lovely.
Yeah.
And then Steve gets out wearing the blue
Shorts.
and white striped shirt with the shorts with a suit jacket over it.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have any Grey Poupon?
I saw one Century with a stick.
What?
I don't know why.
Holy crap.
I don't know if it was a custom.
Oh, that's a
but
unicorn.
It was a Century with a stick.
Oh, my God. Was it the old 8 or the 12-cylinder?
It was the 8.
The 8. Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah, I believe that.
People are going crazy.
Hey, what the fuck? Tom has legs.
Wait, there's more. Oh, God. Them nodes. Wait. Is there a token?
That's at the $20 level.
Yeah, that's
You got to go to his website.
That's on the Pornhub channel.
Toe hub.
It's like feet. You're getting feet for free. So
Tom, put your balls away. They're showing.
Only toes.
I gotta say, looking at the monitor here, I'm a little concerned for my own safety.
There's a reason we keep them back there.
When Steve showed up, I left my shoes back there. I was like, oh, damn it.
John, don't let the bad man get me.
Yeah. Don't let him take you back to his trailer. That's
Normally, people pay extra for this kind of foot action.
I say, yeah, you got a whole new career ahead of you, buddy.
It's not a new career, Pete.
New fan base, let's say. Let's put it that way.
And Sean's not here.
He's gone from the south coast of America to the north coast of America, just spreading joy and his legs. We had a customer come in the shop the other day and had brought in a rather tall truck and with a bike that had to be extricated from the rather tall truck. And so I have all the ramps. Like, we have a collection of ramps. So many ramps. And so the guy's like, well, can we get the bike unloaded and everything? Yeah, I'll take care of that. Jumped up, hopped up real quick, get the bike unloaded. So he comes back a few days later after the bike's been serviced. Comes back, he goes, well, yeah, I don't know, you got the bike out of the truck pretty easy, but I don't know how we're going to get the bike back up in the truck because, uphill's harder than downhill. And I said, well, it's no big deal. I said, Tom's here. And he goes, Tom? I was like, yeah, Tom, our mechanic could just grab it, just toss it up in there, no big deal. And he was like, oh, very funny, right? Whatever. And so we're kind of outside, and that was a steep as fuck ramp.
Oh, yeah.
And that was super sketchy. And Tom comes out, and he's got his onesie on. So he's got his shop onesie on, his speed suit.
Speed suit.
And he comes out.
Is it a romper?
It is totally a romper. It is 100%. Yeah, it's a long-legged romper, for lack of a... But he comes out in his speed suit, and Tom comes out, and he's like, oh, you guys need a hand with that. And the guy looks at me and goes, see what you mean? I was like, yeah, there's not much that Tom can't move. Yeah. I used to be the strong guy at the shop, and now I'm the old guy at the shop.
The other day when we were pulling in the crates for the, is this thing on? Or my head?
Yeah, you're on. You're good. I'm hearing
When
you.
we were pulling in the crates for the Marinis, you were like, yeah, just we'll just move it around and push it around everything else, and I lifted the thing up and put it on.
I was like, it's like a whole motorcycle in there, Tom. There's an entire motorcycle in that crate, and Tom's like, doesn't matter. Just move the goddamn thing. I was like, okay, that's good. We were talking before Steve showed up. We were talking about the Isle of Man, and one of the things for people who can't be at the Isle of Man, I do want to remind you, there is this thing called Manx Radio. Manx, like the cat with no tail. Manx, MANX Radio, and it is fantastic. They've been doing podcasts several times a day, giving race updates and all that stuff. Plus, there is an entire Manx Radio channel that is from 5 in the morning until dark, and it gives the updates. So once the races are actually happening, you can listen to that in real time too. So, but whether you want to watch or listen to it in real time, or if you want to listen to these podcasts, it's one of the greatest things that there is so much media firepower being aimed at this event.
Well, yeah, last week and the week before, it was the British 200 or whatever. They did it live the whole day. Like during work, I'd be like getting stuck and like having it on another computer.
It is really cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of streaming on YouTube too. Like they do ride-alongs and stuff. Like GoPro strapped to the front of the 200-mile-an-hour car.
100%. Yeah.
It's very neat. So if you're into sidecars too, sidecar racing is still one of my absolute guilty pleasures, especially at the Isle of Man, because those guys, man, it's one thing to go through that course on a motorcycle alone. It's another thing to have an entire other human with you. That person changes the outcome of the race. Like if that monkey does their job right, if the passenger does their job correctly, you win. If the passenger's off like that, it could be over.
And that passenger is untethered.
No, they are totally untethered.
At 160 miles an hour, man.
Can you imagine holding your body weight against...
But would you want to be tethered? I mean, if you fall off, you're just going to be...
But I mean, if it was short enough, they move enough. But I mean, like you would think they'd have like a 2-footer just like if you fell backwards.
You can't fall off of it.
I would think there would be like an OSHA fall arrest on there.
Yeah.
So that it would take your body weight about 2 feet.
Yeah.
Right? So that you didn't have to have
as soon as you did that, then everybody would be using that. They'd be hanging off the side of it.
Oh, yeah.
They're doing it now.
Yeah, they do it now.
They're doing it now with 3 Gs.
Yeah.
So, and I don't mean they're getting cell phone service. I mean, they've got their weight times 3 when they go through these turns. And when you look at those things going through the turn flat, the only reason that thing's flat is because there's a human being acting as ballast 3 feet outside of where your outboard wheel is.
If you guys are into this, I have a video on my YouTube channel, and it's in 360, so you can drive the video and look where you want to. But it's our friend's racing sidecar, and I swear you can see her muscles pop through the leathers when she's hanging off the fucking bike. It is crazy.
Andrea has to have forearms of steel.
Seriously,
because holding onto that thing, and also where did I put that handhold? Because that's not the time to be looking. 130 miles an hour is not the time to be looking for where that 4-inch piece of metal is that you like to hold on to, so you don't become like road pizza.
Right.
Yeah,
So
like on a merry-go-round, just flung off.
I went and helped
The world's fastest merry-go-round.
I went and helped them uncork their new machine.
Yeah,
So they got
cool.
a new hack from England, and it came from Scotland and England, but it has raced the Isle of Man.
It has Isle of Man heritage.
Yeah. And so they got they got it there. He was a little unhappy. The people that created it did not strap it into the crate. So this thing got
Straps are cheap, man.
I know.
We
And
have
so
a limitless
there's
supply of straps at the shop.
the body didn't quite fit as good as it used to. So he was working on it. But what I was going to
Paul
say
figured
to
it out.
your point
Yeah.
of all the handles and stuff, they came with 6 different handles that you stick in
Right.
for different tracks. If you need to hang this
Yeah.
way or that way or this. But then the disconcerting part is that the main rodeo hoop where she grabs onto now looks like a metal dildo sticking off the top. It has a knob
Yeah.
with the thing,
Yeah.
and it looks like if you had an issue with that thing and it flipped over, it
yeah.
would impale everyone.
This
It's-
is the Hickman brothers. I'm sorry. It's not the Hickmans. Phil, you fucking it up. Anyway, these guys build rigs for other people. In addition to being world record holders, Tom is promoting his Feet Finder profile. Yes, this is true. They don't build
Welcome to Only Feet.
sidecars for themselves. They build sidecars for all the other teams.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're winning, you're racing one of their rigs. And when they were giving us a tour of how they build their rigs and everything else, they're like, yeah, this, like, hand position and body location, like, it's different for every single passenger.
And they get so cool. Like, so his old rig, you can tell it was once a motorcycle. It had a swing arm. It had motorcycle-esque parts to it. This new one, like, he can change. The other one, you had to take the bodywork off, remove the fucking swing arm to change the rain tires, right? This one is a single-sided swing arm. It's like you can change all the tires in like 5 fucking minutes. It's
pretty
like an
amazing.
F1 car that's squished into a motorcycle-ish thing.
Yeah, it's a sidecar.
Yeah.
It's a kneeler, man. It's what it is.
But you know what I always wanted to know, and if anybody out there's an expert, I want to know how they determined where to, like, I get it on a normal sidecar, right? But on a racing one where you're putting that much, force down and stuff, like how they figured out, because those wheels are all over the place. It's not like you would think it is. It's like really weird looking, like the placement.
It is definitely one of those weird bastard children of the motorcycle sport. It really is. And that's when you see them and you see how weird they are. And then you also kind of see how they've evolved and how different they are than they were 30 years ago. Because, yeah, you're right. They're like little mini Formula One cars now.
Yeah, and like the engines, like his old one, he was literally laying on the valve cover. His chest, all he had was a knee mat that you'd use in the garden thing. He'd put that on top of the cylinders and lay on that to pass it. This one has like a fiberglass tray that kind of lays there like that. And it's really weird where the feet are. Like, man, you want to talk about shifting weird and stuff. Like, your feet are laying down with your toe kind of up, and then the shifter is beyond that. Like, it's fucking crazy.
It is. And I'm of that opinion where that's still 37-mile course, and they're doing it in 18 minutes. Okay? So average speed 120 miles per hour, and you're on the ground.
Yeah.
And you're twice as wide as any motorcycle there. And then you throw a passenger another 3 feet out past that. It's fucking terrifying. It is absolutely terrifying. And it's one of those things that the Burchell brothers, that's the team I was thinking of, they were, when we were in their pits, these guys were like, hey, how you doing? Come on over here. You want a drink? And like, they were just super cool and nice to me and Oscar. They didn't need to be. And then they're showing us everything on the rig, and they're like, oh, well, this is the way we set it up for us. But then come on over into this other guy's, and they're going to the next tent, and they're like, okay, well, come and look at these guys' rigs, because they do it totally different than we do. And we're like, that's fucking crazy. Like, it's different from person to person, radically different,
Or
totally different.
Even what side the chair is on.
Absolutely.
Because some people, like in England, I think they like to do it. Well, he just got that bike there, so the chair would be on the left. But here in the States, a lot of times when they build them, they put the chair on the right.
Yeah.
But they can all
totally
race
different.
together, which is kind of weird because now you got alternating chairs eyeballing each other
Well,
and stuff.
it's just the way, it's just what it is. And we've got friends
And
up
a
in
different track might give you different advantages for that too. Right?
Of course. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's funny where when you think about that, you're like, okay, well, that son of a bitch must have a 1400 cc engine. It must have, like, no, I mean, in that class, these are 600cc rigs.
Yeah, he has a CBR 600 RR motor.
These are 600cc rigs because doing 1,000 cc's, doing 1,200 cc's is a horribly bad idea.
Oh, yeah.
So with 600 cc's, they've got enough horsepower to literally go around the Isle of Man track at an average speed of 120 miles an hour.
Yeah, because, I mean, think about the CG.
Yeah.
It's got to be like 50% lower than a motorcycle.
Oh, my God.
Like you're laying on the ground.
It's lower than a Badger's Badger. We talked about that.
Yeah.
It is just the lowest thing on the planet because every time they do anything, there's sparks.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Those bikes are, give or take, those sidecar rigs. The whole rig is, what does that come out to being? About 340 pounds.
Yeah. It's
Without the
tubes.
peoples.
Yeah, right. It's just
It's
tubes.
340 pounds and 140, 150 horsepower. It's really cool, man. Super neat. I dig it. I just absolutely love watching it. It's super cool. Yeah. Can never get enough of it. I hope that this year at AMA Vintage Days, shaking your head.
I just, they called me yesterday and he was a little upset.
Yeah, we were talking about this at Distinguished Gentleman's Ride about how
they dropped sidecars and took the baggers.
literally they took.
Yeah.
You mean
the baggers,
I'm
the
sorry,
AMA.
Did you mean the crowd pleaser and the second biggest crowd pleaser?
Yeah.
Wow, that's like having a strip club with no ladies in it.
Vintage days?
Yeah, they brought the bagger racing in and they're bumping the sidecars.
That's bullshit.
So I said, well, that's okay because now you guys have the weekend off. So
Right.
come down to our tent.
They
and
can
we're
spend
gonna
more
sing
time.
songs and party.
That's true.
Hang out at the FEMA camp.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey,
Have the FEMA
Sticky, you
camp.
got your soundtrack ready? Your
Oh.
sing along?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we got
You
our,
got that list?
we got
Oh, we
a
got
list
more
out
of
there,
it. Yeah,
man.
yeah, we'll
oh
do
yeah,
that.
man, absolutely.
You got to work that up already. I got to get my kazoo ready.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I've been keep adding songs. I keep hearing ones. I'm like, oh, that's really good too. So yeah, I'll get it together.
You're
We
getting
gotta
a
publish this
decent
soon.
little
You're running
playlist.
out of time.
I'll get it. I'll get it.
Okay, so I didn't want to bring this news story out. I threw a little teaser up there on Instagram about
is
it.
it?
Wait for it.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, hit it. All right, breaking news, folks. Honda, late to the game as always. Honda doesn't go anywhere until they know the water's safe. Honda has been doing this for about 25 years. Yeah, let Suzuki be radical. Let Yamaha take all the chances. Let BMW spend billions of dollars on R&D. Let KTM fucking do whatever KTM does.
Let Harley come out with their live wire.
Let Harley come out with their live wire. Let Harley lose $23 billion on a live wire. Honda always sits back and goes, okay, yeah, that didn't work for them. Don't do that. Well, that was a mistake. Don't do that. Okay, so they did it. They finally have released their electric motorcycle. And because all electric motorcycles are always vaporware until they build 1,000 of them, here's Honda. And not only does the motorcycle exist, but they're having little Chinese girls ride it around. And there's videos of little Chinese girls riding it around. And there's videos of this motorcycle doing stupid motorcycle tricks. In any case, though, I usually am not wholly offended by the aesthetic of a Honda device. Sorry, you broke me.
Until now.
Until now.
Now, this has a good angle. There is a good angle, and Sleepy will throw that angle up right now. This is the best angle you will ever see of this motorcycle because it's the most fantastical and not likely to exist angle. But nonetheless, I think this angle is somewhat attractive. When we go to this angle,
What the
fuck,
It
man,
looks like a
you know
Transalp. Raped one of those little. Remember the Honda Cub, the mini bike that was all encased in plastic.
yes. And do you remember the new fresh
The new Moto
briefcase
Compo,
Moto
yeah.
Compo?
Yeah.
This looks like the briefcase Moto Compo ate a motorcycle.
Well, no, you know what it looks like? It looks like the BMW 1300 side case fell
does?
off and then sprouted fucking wheels.
and ran away.
And they,
It's a PC800 with the rear end removed.
and they,
Oh my god!
I was going to say it's almost as ugly as a PC800.
almost as
they
ugly.
somehow managed to tack that early 80s Honda custom seat
I
on it.
love that they took a tan, fooling you. Oh, really? I'm made of cowhide, I promise. I love how they threw the tan seat on there as some homage to there might be a natural part on this motorcycle somewhere, but there's not. This motorcycle is devastatingly ugly.
It's Tupperware.
Well, yes, it is. It is the box Tupperware comes in.
Yeah.
This is not just Tupperware.
This might be uglier than the BMW electric scooter.
It might be. It might be uglier than the BMW electric scooter, and that's saying
Knock
something.
likes it.
Knock loves it. Of course he does. Of course Knock loves it. Yes.
I like both of those.
You too can be your own Japanese anime figure. I knew that Steve Hoffert would love it. I knew he would love it.
If that was the case, it looked like the NM4.
Scott's Moto Adventures says PC800s are ugly.
No, that Navi is ugly.
The Navi is ugly.
All right, we're on
You're
agreement
right.
with
The Navi is ugly.
I like the PC800 as long as it's not in pearl white.
What do you want it in? Shit
Okay,
brown?
one to clarify, PC800s are only white. Anything else is a fucking replica. Yeah, PC800s only came in one color. After that, they were replicated in black and replicated in red. The white PC800 is the original. And by the way, Lexus white metallic.
If anybody's interested in PC800 and PC800 parts, I know a guy.
Oh yeah, you do know a guy. Yeah.
Lots of parts.
That needs to
all
happen.
you can eat.
All you can eat. So some of the stuff about this bike. So here's another fetching example of it. All right.
Is that self-parking? Does it have any of that,
I think
technology?
I think it does. I think it has a lot of stuff.
It'll follow you around like a puppy dog?
It might, yeah. It has all the stuff. It has reverse. It has front and rear cameras. It has all the stuff. It has a frunk, of course.
I need a motorcycle with reverse so bad.
Right. And this is in its angry mode. This is the Darth Vader package.
That kind of works better, man.
It does work better. I hate to admit it.
Black hides all of the ugly.
Black does. And black makes it look smaller, which the wheelbase on this thing is deceptively long. So here's my jam. First of all, we should immediately talk about the price. They're targeting $5,100. $5,000 to $6,000.
Okay.
Okay, now that should get your attention. Now, I do have an extensive background with electric motorcycles, and I can tell you that some of their marketing department math may be wrong. And let's see if you can pick up where the lie is. Okay. The first thing that they're saying, it is a 15.8 kilowatt mid-mounted motor. Okay. For those of you who are not familiar with kilowatts as they rate to horsepower, 15.8 kilowatt is going to be in the neighborhood of 100 torques or 80 torques, something like that. Okay. If you want to play horsepower games, it's probably going to be 50 horsepower or something like that.
It's not going to go very far in the Ford AAA batteries.
Well, now we're going to get into the next thing. Okay. So the top speed is very clearly advertised at 75 miles per hour. And they're saying that the battery is a 6.2 kilowatt hour battery. Now,
that's
Steve.
As much as the cost. That's as much as the cost of
the
entire
bike. Exactly. Is that one battery. Yeah. That battery, which is not removable. And anybody who's owned a Zero before knows that a 6.2 kilowatt battery in a bike that has 50% more power than this one does is going to give you, unless your name's Steve Hoffert, about 75 miles of range. Steve, what's your record?
120.
I rest my case.
But it's only 30 on the freeway.
Exactly. And that's the bugger.
And that's with that's with the 7.2.
Okay. And so with the 6.2, they're claiming a maximum range of 105 miles. And now, in order to achieve that, looking at my whiz wheel that I have at the shop of electric vehicles, power, speed, and consumption, means that with a 15.8 kW motor at 105.6 mile range is not going to be attainable with a 6.2 battery unless you're going 35 miles per hour.
No, it'd have to be less than 35.
Right. So 35 is my best game scenario. Is you cannot ride this motorcycle at more than 35 miles if you want to see anywhere close to 100 miles. In fact, very much like when we did our shootout, 24 miles per hour seems to be the magic, the butter zone if you want to go 105 miles with a 6.2 kilowatt hour motor. So this bike's extraordinarily optimistic at that maximum range of 105.6 miles, because that is literally a rider that weighs 100 pounds going 24.5 miles per hour. So, wow, that's not going to be very much fun. And again, at that point, $5,000, $6,000, I don't care if it can sprint its way up to 75 miles per hour, but it's only going to be able to give you that speed for about 20 minutes before you have to recharge. It's not going to be real fun. The fun factor is going to be pretty low on this thing.
So it's going to be like a electric NC700X.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, that is a deal breaker for a lot of people that want to be able to travel more than 50 miles on a charge.
So for that money, you could buy a Honda Monkey. And
Yes,
you can't go 75, but maybe you can go 56, 57. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you can
All
get
day long.
all day long.
Forever.
You get 150 miles to a gallon.
Yeah, forever. So it did take Honda a long time to jump on board. But I would like to also call attention to a lot of things this bike doesn't have, because Honda said it wasn't going to enter the market until it had rechargeable, hot swappable batteries, and this bike has neither. So this bike's batteries are not removable at all from the vehicle. They're not set up to work at the power station base. You can pull a battery out and replace it with a fresh battery. Doesn't have that. These are fixed batteries. And I'm going to say they probably did that to get the infrastructure to be cheap enough to be able to hit that price point. By the way, these are not being offered by Honda of Japan. This is 100% Honda of China. So this project is a 100% Chinese project. In fact, the factory that's building it is, if the only factory that's building it is a Chinese factory.
I didn't see any Chinese girls riding.
I sent a little Instagram thing out recently to Facebook that's got a little young lady jumping up on one and doing the stuff.
You know who picked up that game too, and I've been inundated with it, is Benda. Bendo's like, we're gonna appeal to the common man.
Yes,
so they're showing the Napoleon Bob.
Yeah.
And they love that name because the one new bike has that across the whole fucking side of it, like a
side of the bike.
Says Napoleon Bob.
Says Napoleon Bob.
And then you see this hot little Asian girl in like this long black dress that you would never ride a motorcycle with.
No.
And she's like coming over and clawing on the bike and putting a helmet on. And I'm like, what are they doing?
I can tell you what they're doing. Sex sells, baby.
I know, but it makes no sense what the fucksoever.
And it's also funny that name, which can be so fucking disgusting here, you're like, Napoleon Bob. And you're like, or you could have the chinchilla, your choice.
Yeah, right.
Right? But the fact that the marketing department is just a swing and a miss on that thing, but apparently China loves it.
But the bikes look good. It sucks though, because like I would buy one because it's a cool looking little bike. It seems like the V-twin's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But that name just kills
So
me.
having hung out with Harley Bob a couple weeks ago, at the
Harley
DGR,
Bob.
all I can see is some guy at the bar wearing a Napoleon costume named Bob.
Yes, Napoleon Bob.
Yeah,
Right.
it's Napoleon
That's
Bob.
Napoleon Bob. Of course, he's
Everybody will
short.
see it.
Right. Oh, he's got his hand tucked in his jacket. Yeah.
He's got that
big
weird,
white hat.
Big white hat.
I was thinking that electric bike looks more like a bulldog. It's
Well,
like
the
a
Honda
cross-
Bulldog.
The Honda
Right.
Bulldog.
The Honda Bulldog.
crossed
Yeah.
with like you said, a PC800, but the Bulldog had that front end that was like boxy.
John's got his stints out of his nose.
He's blocking
happy now.
Steve. He doesn't want Steve to be in the shot.
His face
Now he's showing off his
sunburned.
nose. He did look a little sunburned.
He did. This is the Honda Bulldog, and again, every 5 years we bring up the Honda Bulldog because we're just like, hey, Honda,
I wish they'd build that one.
this existed. You could have built that, Honda.
Oh man, what the fuck?
That's a thing. They could have built that. That's
Yeah.
off the shelf parts.
BMW built that.
That is a motorcycle that they could have built in a 400cc parallel twin motor that they already own, and a 700cc parallel twin motor that they already own. They wouldn't have had to go too deep into the fucking research and development to build that fucking bike. And it just kills me.
What Honda has a 400? Where are they selling the 400 Honda? parallel
They've got ATV motors that are
okay.
400 side by sides parallel.
They could have easily just made it a 500 for the United States. It's easy.
Well, I mean, the infrastructure's already there. Everything's there. It's already got a motor family, right? Yeah, you're right.
It's got the headlights and the ruckus.
You call it right. Yes, exactly. And you build that motorcycle, and it's quite unabashedly. It's no longer pretending like a ruckus pretends, right? It's no longer pretending like a big ruckus pretends. It's actually a thing, and it's kind of fucking cool. And it actually kind of has a cool name. And I dare say, I feel like if they built it, people might have accidentally bought it. But it's been 15 years now.
Historically, Honda's had problems where they bring us there. Okay, you guys want the GB500? We'll bring it.
Yeah.
And they sell like 4 to 6 60-year-old guys, and then they sit around for 20 years, and everybody goes, those are really cool. We should go buy them and then drive the price up.
Yeah, that's a big thing because Honda did that beautiful example of that with the NT650 Hawk. where they brought it out too early and too much money. So it came out, it was innovative, it was cutting edge, but it was also a little too expensive for a 650. And boy, did it flop. The PC800 came out in 89, flopped harder than anything's flopped in a long flop in time. But they sure did trot it out again in 94, 95, right? So it took a 5-year cooling off period for them to bring that thing back.
That's where you're at with that, because I mean, it could replace the XR650 really easily.
Yeah, it's an interesting
parallel twin. And
it's got character too.
And then 5 years from now, everybody would go, wait, you know what? That bike was really cool.
You bring that out as a 500, you bring that out as a 700. You got two bikes that people are actually going to.
I thought they said the 650, XR650, this might be the last year for it.
They said that. They did.
Which might be an omen of good things to come, though, because if they're going to end that, what are they going to bring in?
Right. What are they going to bring in?
Well, they already brought the Transalp and stuff like that, so, man.
Do you remember the two guys when we were down in South Carolina? They were like 70 on the XR or XLs.
One guy had an XR 650.
Yeah. These two 72-year-old dudes come like, hey, can we ride with you guys? We're like, yeah. So we're thinking we're cool. We're taking off. They're like, oh, I guess you guys are slow. And these old dudes who probably grew up on those roads with their fucking like slicks on their XL 650s and XR 650s, just hammered, gone.
They don't even know the word supermo.
No. They just
it's not even in the vocabulary.
They just put the stick of tires on the old bike there. And
well, but you don't understand. When I need to use it off road, I got the other wheels for it.
That's true. Yeah. No,
I got the street wheels, and then I take the street wheels off and I put the dirt wheels on.
And like these dudes literally had overalls, flannel shirts, and garden gloves. Like they literally were like from they were literally out of the manual from 1972 on protective riding gear. They're still in that camp. Dude.
They're good. They're good for riding and for welding.
Yeah. They are Oshkosh bagoshing you into absolute
I can't
embarrassment.
say shit though because they were so fast.
Fast as hell. Fast as hell.
That's you guys wanted to ride.
They were literally out of sight in 2 turns.
Yeah, like
I love that shit, man. The guys that just grow up on those roads and are like, I know.
That was like when I was out in California and we were riding. I really felt like I was doing something, and then there's a fucking Ford Ranger on your tail. Like, oh, better pull over and let this guy go past.
Well, who was that? Who was that kid that grew up on the Dragon, like riding mini bikes, and he was passing everybody?
That's Larry's. So our friend Larry Newberry on one of our many trips to the Dragon, he's like, oh yeah, this is my friend Justin or whatever, and Justin was 15 or something, 16, and he had an Yamaha RD80, right? So he's got an RD80, and he shows up and same flannel shirt. 1983 Bell helmet. Yeah. $9 special.
With the little...
right. This he's super nice kid. He's just being super great to everybody and just like, oh, this is cool. And we're up there. I think my camera rig that year was the GT650 Hawk or something. And I've done that road a whole bunch of times. And we got all the hot shit scooters, the 210s. And, we got some people that know how to ride up there. We got like people that took their number plates off to come and fucking ride their bikes on the street and like zip tied on a license plate. And we're like, oh, it's going to be pretty good. And we're hanging out at the crossroads of time, just okay, well, it seems to have settled down a little bit. I think it's a good time for us to get a couple of passes in. And they're like, okay, great. We didn't even make it to the fucking North Carolina line. I mean, the Tennessee line. We could see the sign.
Yeah.
And this kid just fronted us on this 80cc, this two-stroke.
Yeah.
And he's just... But he never slowed down. Yeah. Whatever speed he was doing, he did that for like fucking 11 miles and 318 turns. The kid never slowed down once ever. And he was knees, just jeans, right? And he was knee down every corner. He sometimes would throw his hand down and touch the ground as he was doing, the Dragon is, uphill, upstairs, downstairs, right? And I was just like, I can't catch him at all. And between deadly turns, I'm going 75, 80 miles an hour, and I can't reel him in at all. Nothing. And I got the camera on my bike. So I was like, fucking hell. I mean, I got to be able to catch this kid. But I realized really quickly that I'm leaving my whole group in the dust. So I tried to catch the kid. Couldn't catch him. I'd stop. The group would catch up to me. What the fuck, man? Where did you go? I was like, I was chasing the kid on the 80cc bike, And they're like, yeah, would you like to hang back with us? That's why you're here, is to film us. And I'm like, yeah, I got.
You get back.
I got a little wound up.
This kid,
13
miles.
He just gets smaller.
Red Mist trying to catch the
and he was small to begin with. So he never got any bigger. Is the moral of the story is he never got any bigger.
But that's the thing is you grow up on roads like that and you learn to. I mean, I grew up in hillbilly land and knew how to drive dirt country roads with no guardrails. And these guys you're talking about, that's what they do.
Yeah, but I need to point out,
Yeah.
we had Chris Smith on the Janus with us, so they were going to pass us.
They were going to
That's
pass
true,
it.
yeah.
Oh, and that was the year we were riding inappropriate bikes. I was on my
Right.
SP250 with wood tires, and you were, yeah. Okay, I was
There's a parade of inappropriate.
Yeah, because
bikes.
I don't feel quite as embarrassed. I almost forgot it. Like I thought I was on like an Africa Twin or something with power.
On one of the years I went out to visit
And
Liza
you're a
and the
Aprilia
gang.
RSV4. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Went out to visit Liza and the gang doing a trip, and I ended up on the Triumph TT600. Not a bad bike and had good rubber on it.
Yeah.
And so I had the TT600. Emmy was on the CB1400 in good shape, decent rubber. And we're going up in the area around Santa Cruz University, go banana slugs, right? And so we're up there and we're crawling around all these amazing roads among the redwoods. It's just beautiful. It's fucking gorgeous up there. And Liza's group knows those roads. Knock knows those roads, the back of his hand. That's how he goes places, on his, Knock does the whole Supermo thing. Knock's got that shit nailed down. Knock will pull a wheelie with the best of you. And they just know all that shit. But to me, it's brand new and I'm fucking terrified, right? But I got a big, healthy bike and I'm a good rider. So I'm like, yeah, I'm doing pretty good. And I got Liza in my sights and I'm like, yeah, fucking try to lose me, bitch, right? And I'm right in her pocket. Go, go, go. And I'm red mist all the way. But you don't understand, my focus level was about 190%. My BPMs were about 160. I'm sucking wind, trying to keep up. Don't give a fuck about Emily at this point. She could be on fire. I don't care. I got my mission. Don't lose Liza. And I'm very proud of myself that I'm not losing Liza. And I get walked by Tom Bagel Donahue on a GTS 250 that's been across America fucking 7 times while he's wearing a fucking scooter skirt. And he goes by me and goes, heh, heh, like he's going to get milk. How you doing, Phil? So glad you came out, Phil. And just fucking walks me like I'm
One-handed.
standing still. Totally. Barely paying attention.
He's got a Slurpee. It's
Barely paying attention. Giving nothing to the ride.
Is this the bike with the extra 30 pounds of gas up in the top tank? So it
fully
makes,
up. I mean, it wasn't loaded. I mean, but the point is this isn't a crisp new 85 mile an hour GTS 310.
Right.
This is a bike that Tom has ridden to death and back several times. And I got just instantly humbled. I was so fucking humbled. And when we got to our point of destination, I stopped. I immediately was like, can't find a cigarette fast enough. Got to slow my heart rate down. Need to walk this shit off. And don't anybody talk to me about getting passed by Tom. And when first person that walks up to me is like, man, Tom got by you in a hurry. And I was like, yeah, he did. He did. And that's not cool. I got 115 horsepower. And he just walked past me. Yeah. Yeah, Knock, I think Knock was there. It was pretty embarrassing.
My riding in California was like very like I come from Flatland, Ohio, and I go out to visit Kevin, and we pick up these bikes, and we're all going to go up to the Keene Canyon, and and I'm like, okay, cool, and then, okay, lane splitting. We're like, oh shit, here we go. Okay, so now we're lane splitting. Okay, now we're going. Here we're up the canyon, and they're like fucking gone, and I'm like. I'm way over my head.
Yeah,
but
yeah, absolutely.
You got warmed up and it was okay.
the lane splitting thing, though, man. I know that you have opinions, whatever, but like to me, it just freaks me the fuck out, man.
Yeah.
Because I just know how many times, I guess maybe the cars, like people handle it differently, but the times I've done it here, trying to get somewhere, people are dickholes, man.
Driving through
they
San
are.
Francisco with people doing 90 miles an hour past you, lane splitting. Like they don't even slow down. They just go.
No, I was in San Francisco and the guy tapped my handlebars.
Yeah.
I was not lane splitting because I'm fucking scared. So I was out there on a bike that I didn't own in a group. I was out of the group at this moment. And so I'm just trying to be cool and get to my destination, listening very carefully to what the GPS tells me to do to not end up in a tourist area and get fucked. But as I'm doing my thing, moving ever so slowly.
Tanuki
Drink. As I'm moving along at this pace of pond water, a guy on a BMW Cruiser, Super Tourer, goes past me and taps my handlebar. Well, first of all, nobody's supposed to do that, so I just about shit my pants because I'm looking at everything except that. I wasn't looking in the mirror. He taps my handlebar because I was in the position in the lane that was impeding his lane splitting.
Correct.
Of all the cars that were there, they were cool. I was the asshole. So he tapped my handlebars, and that little tap of my handlebars was enough to make me almost dump Liza's Versus. Because it spooked me. 2, I wasn't expecting it. 3, I was leaning on the other foot. It could have been ugly super fast. I was really happy I didn't dump the bike. And then when I looked over, it was a police officer. So that's weird. But yeah, they have BMWs there that have shotguns and AR-15s all over them, and that's a legit police bike.
Watching somebody doing 100 miles an hour in RTP in full tilt,
and he straight up traffic. He was giving me the nicest way possible. Yeah. Hey, dude, if you're gonna stop for lights, don't crowd the lane splitting lane. And I went, fuck. It's one thing if like some other bro would have done it, but the fact that a cop did it, that was a come to Jesus moment right there. I was like, well, I need to get with the fucking program. And so after that, I started going on the sidewalks. It was cool. We got that shit sorted out real fast.
You're like, I thought lane splitting applied to sidewalks, man.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Well, the group I was with, I found out very quickly that even though you're wearing, DOT OSHA related kilts, that these fucknuts were just going to go up on the sidewalks. So if the group couldn't get to be first position at the green light, the red light, then, maybe 18 guys were going to be at the red light. Well, then the other 76 people behind were like, we have to filter up. And filtering up means, well, any means possible.
Right.
And so, yeah, sidewalks were absolutely on limits. And that freaked me out a little bit, too. News story, ready?
Yeah.
Give me a little... With all the power and technology of one of the world's largest motorcycle companies, Royal Enfield has managed to build yet another incredibly ugly motorcycle that I do not want to own. And it is being unveiled at, the Bike Shed Moto Show, where Liza was there, with Ewan McGregor and Charlie Boorman, etc., or et al., as we should say. This motorcycle is, bring it up, boys, it is irretrievably ugly. Sons of Anarchy handlebars, a gas tank that looks like it was stolen directly from a 1983 Yamaha Maxima.
Seriously.
The weirdest sissy bar seat, one piece, I got to give him credit for that. And then the 650 lump parallel twin Royal Enfield motor.
But then
in the middle.
The pipes just look wrong.
The pipes do look wrong. They're coming from the outside of the frame rails, whereas a lot of times motorcycles will have the pipes coming from the inside of the frame rails.
Yeah.
The other thing that's kind of weird about the motorcycle is it does have upside down forks, which I can appreciate, but upside down forks normally don't go with 18-inch high risers.
Right. And then, what's
or
the
18-inch bars.
Everything is so round on that thing, and then they chose to make the pipes kind of angular there. Like, instead of making it kind of swoopy, which would have filled out the rest of the roundness of it. That's really bothered me.
And
it's
the
offensive.
area within 1 foot of the headlight in any direction is 100% club bike Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, you get a cut with this that,
You get a cut with this one. I'm going to inflate the picture just a little bit so we can see it just a little bit better.
I gave him a break for a minute
to rest. For a second.
It's like when you got to sniff the coffee beans before you got to go back. All right, there you go. Let's go back.
Is the... And I don't know if you can see it, but that gas tank has 6 inches of air underneath it.
Oh, yeah.
There's an edge to that gas tank right there. So that gas tank is...
It's like a Honda Rebel.
It is way steeper than a Honda Rebel.
What's that style where you raise the gas tank up like 3 inches?
Like every fucking Harley 48 I've had given to me or traded in at the shop. Every Harley 72, every Harley 48, somebody buys a kit that raises the front of the gas tank up 3 inches so you can see the frame tube. It's a good to have a foot fetish.
Look,
and it's just led by no.
Look, I'm seeing a whole lot of talk here. I'm not seeing a whole lot of people sending money our way now.
Logged in as no.
Then maybe you got to rub one of them fucking pickles or something.
If we can get 5 new $50 pictures, we will all go shoeless.
This is the thing. If we don't
we'll make Tom put on his shoes.
That's true.
If we don't get enough subscribers to hit 10,000 by next week, Tom is going to be a featured foot cam all over this fucking thing.
Man, that is vicious.
And Sean's not here to pimp this for us. Come on.
No, that is a shame that we don't have our hype man here.
First Royal Enfield he hates as well.
Yeah, it is a disgusting. This is a disgusting motorcycle.
Where did you get that picture on the TV?
It's just on the TV. It looks brighter because the TV looks brighter. Yeah.
Oh my God, that looks better.
Yeah, it does for once.
No, not the bike, the picture. Sorry. Yeah.
The front end of that bike looks all stoved in too, like it ran into the back of a bread delivery
it
van or
looks
something.
like a straight up Maxima from 1980 fucking six, dude. The front wheels, everything.
That's why I pulled that picture up of it is literally a Yamaha 83 Yamaha Maxima.
Yeah.
Which was a inline 4, and the XS650 Heritage. If you took a Heritage motor and jammed it into a Maxima,
all this thing needs is white raised letters on the fucking front tire, and you just stick it in a
Eliminator or whatever the hell
qualifiers.
it is.
Yeah. Yep.
Dunlop qualifiers. Yeah, this is not an attractive motorcycle. The useless hard bags on the back. This bike is straight up. This is when somebody's like, what did he say? Thrust and chest.
Come on, bring it in. Let's go. Come on.
We got people wanting to pay to put Tom's feet away for the listeners at home. Tom came from out the bar, and his dogs are barking on live TV.
Oh my God.
That's the hysterical part is I literally just walked out from behind the bar and Steve's like, no, you need to go right in front of the camera.
I was doing such a good job.
I was behind the bar.
Of hiding
Oh
these
my
dogs.
God, we got $5 to buy Tom some shoes.
So for the folks listening at home, MotoHop is just donating $5 towards the Buy Tom Some Shoes fund.
Well, I am a shoeless hillbilly.
Oh my God. Well, that was the other joke I was going to say is my friends, I have friends like Rob Hodge and Tom that, they just would naturally be without shoes.
Yeah.
They're just naturally without footwear. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, for the record,
Yeah.
the Roadkill Festival is in Pocahontas County, West Virginia. So
The Roadkill Festival.
Roadkill Festival.
BYO Roadkill?
No. It's a whole cook-off thing. They get all of it.
All right, Sleepy. So, in case your eyes are burning you from that last Royal Enfield, I would like to offer to you the next motorcycle that they had shown at the Bike Shed show that I think is worthy of acknowledgement. Go ahead and throw that one up to the crowd at home if you don't mind.
Wow, they went full dust. No, that's like the car from
the League of Gentlemen. The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen's car had a motorcycle hiding in the trunk.
Stand by. Does the wheel covers move with the wheel?
Yes, they do. They do. And there's these little metal things that go outside of the perimeter of the turn radius to keep objects from being ingested into the swing of said front wheel.
Very practical.
And I'm sure it doesn't have at all a bit of a rudder effect whilst going
I was
down.
going to say, like, once you hit 70 miles an hour, I'm sure it's really fun to turn.
I also give them credit for the white wall on the back and not a white wall on the front.
Here's what I'm doing. I'm going to take those wheel covers off the front wheels.
Yes.
Cover up the back wheels.
Yes.
And let the front wheel kind of swing freely.
Yes.
I'm a Pete on this one.
I like the little.
Let it swing freely.
There's a luggage compartment in the back tail wing.
The literally the sponson box in the back tail wing by the 59 Cadillac taillights that are ubiquitous on every custom machine.
No. You got it all wrong. At a certain speed, those things pop out. That's what happens.
That's active aero.
Yes.
And then all your tools fly out. Which is an active countermeasure for anybody chasing you.
I wonder if there's like a bar or cocktail set in there.
Oh my God. And then again, it's called the Kingsman.
Oh.
Right? So it is literally called the Kingsman. You lose points. You lose points because the pedestrian slicer on the front has the natural curvature of a front fender, yet it does not match the radius of the front bodywork, I guess.
It looks like a salmon's nose on the front of that thing.
The front does look like a beluga. Yeah, it's fucking weird, man. It's fucking weird.
They should take that pedestrian slicer off.
It's got the fish tail, too.
It does have the fishtail. It does.
How fast do you think it can go before all the bodywork shakes apart, MotoHop asks?
Well, if it would have been the old 500 single, 30.
The oil changes have to be fun.
Yeah. Are there going to be a 7-hour bodywork charge on that one?
Too much boat, not enough motorcycle.
That is good. Too much boat, not enough motorcycle.
Too much torpedo.
Yes.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. I think this might be what happens when Indian fellas are asked to do a British royalty, Secret Service inspired thing, because I think there might be still a little bit of axes being grind. There might be some axe grinding happening if this was truly pointed out to be the Kingsman.
But here's the thing: did you ever see that dude that does the BMWs, Pete? They're kind of like that, but they're fucking dope. Like everything about them is like right, like the shape, the proportions, how the gearing and everything. This is wrong.
This could be like
it's cool, but it's wrong.
You know the car the ambiguously gay duo had? This is the ambiguously gay solo.
This is the ambiguously gay duo motorcycle.
There's nothing ambiguous about this, though.
No, there is nothing ambiguous about this.
It's the flamboyantly Sean.
If it was blue, he'd be all
It's
over.
the flamboyant 650.
Well, it does have an orange seat, so he could probably mount that to his car he's selling.
I think that's meant to be just meant to be like calfskin or suede. It's definitely suede for sure. And it's got a little nut duster cover there. It's pretty. I mean, look, it's extraordinary. Yes, it is. It is extraordinary, and it is the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Let's talk about one thing though. Looking at this, okay, so you see where your butt is.
I do. Yes.
Now you see where you have to put your hands.
I do.
Now, where are you putting your feet?
I see them down here.
Yeah, so there's not much of a comfortable position you're getting out of that.
That's pretty traditional cafe racer. I mean, I ride a lot of uncomfortable bikes, but yeah.
I think it's going to have
this bike is going to suck if you're a 6'4" guy. Like if you got a 34 or 5 inch inseam like I do, this bike's going to suck dick. It's not going to be fun at
Somebody got self-conscious over here.
I think it's especially get the pants too.
Tom go put
Pants
flip-flops
and
on.
shoes.
They paid him. He had to. Oh, look at this.
He
there he
ponied
goes.
Yeah, look at that. He got trousers and espadrilles. He's good to go.
See, this is a podcast that listens to its audience.
Would you like to respond?
Never say that we're not receptive to your comments because we do act upon them. Yeah, that is absolutely true.
We do appreciate feedback and hate mail.
We do.
Knock nailed it. It looks like it came out of a Wes Anderson movie.
It does look like a Wes Anderson movie. That is exactly
You call it
right.
the Kingsman, right?
Yeah, it's called the Kingsman.
I literally, I just got done watching the whole series, actually.
Yeah, and this would be one
So
of the
it would
props
fit
that
right
would be
into
like,
it.
oh, look, this is a James Bond scenario. We have to give you a motorcycle, and we gave you this thing.
Aaron
And then
says,
we had
just
anal
wait
sex.
for a mean crosswind. Yeah, you're not riding that across Kansas, man.
You're not riding that across any bridge.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
Across the lakefront coming back from the DGR.
Yeah.
And
And
I've never experienced that.
This is the kind of thing where somebody's like, look at me, I just built the world's perfect Bonneville salt flats bike, and then they take it out and they realize they're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, they realize what a horrible, horrible idea it was. Yeah. Scott Dennis, woo, that's better. Yeah, all right.
Well, like I said, normally I'm behind the bar, so I don't have to worry about
He
it.
normally doesn't wear pants at all back there.
I'm free balling.
We went
I
from
shirt cock most of these, so.
I'm just saying, we went from
Winnie
a
the Pooh.
78% chance of testicle to 0, and that's a much better fucking option for us right now.
Much better idea. Yeah, that is much, much better idea. So anyway, there's 2 Royal Enfields that we saw this week, and both of them were awful. And yet they're 2 totally different motorcycles. They're both totally different bikes, and yet they are awful.
But you got to admit, versus what Honda has done with their electric, whatever the hell that thing was.
Yeah, right.
I'd take a Kingsman.
I'm going with the Honda.
I'm going to go with the Honda too. I hate to admit it. I hate to admit it.
I mean, it would take like 2 years to turn around in that,
I
in that
cannot
thing.
live with that shit, man.
But the
is
Maxim thing
awful.
can just go back to the 80s.
Hey,
Yeah.
you think that can be put on the back of a car carrier?
Would you like to see what the Meteor 650 looks like unfucked or unson of anarchy?
Yeah.
This is what the bike's supposed to look like. Go ahead and pull a picture up. So that's the bike, and it's Indian livery. Those crash bars up there. That's kind of what India does. You can remove those in your mind, but that's what the motorcycle looks like as it leaves the factory.
It's not offensive.
But you can see they raised the gas tank a full 6 inches in the front, so it's not nearly as bad as it is in that fucking that Royal Frog or whatever they call that thing. Yeah, that's fucking
Dude, if you go to Bike Week this week or next week here
Yeah.
in Ohio, there's going to be like 1,000 Harleys that look exactly like this fucking thing.
And if you take the Royal Enfield badge off the gas tank, anyone's going to think it's some form of a 100 like a.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They all put those bags on.
Anyone's going to think it's a 1200cc Triumph, right?
Yeah.
Because they look like that. That's what they look like now. So nobody's going to freak out if you.
But I'm saying it would
show up on
fit
that.
in. Like
Right,
if
it
you
would
saw
show.
this in a row of Harleys
Right.
and things and stuff, it just looks like another bike.
It looks like a normal bike.
Like it looks like
looks-
a Honda Shadow or something made by whatever.
It's not unabashedly offensive as that custom was. So yeah. So that's maybe step away from the fucking design board.
Well,
just for a moment.
we've seen because these are for India's market. They're not. We're never going to see these. Well, or are we going to see the Meteor?
No,
we're not going to see the Croc.
No, you're going to see the Meteor. In fact, it's
I've-
probably arriving at your dealership right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So the
But are we going to
650
see the
Meteor.
Sons of Anarchy version?
No.
Okay.
No, that was a one-off they built for this garage breed, not garage.
Well,
breed.
they were waiting because they were going to.
They built it for the Great Frog, whatever that is, at the Bike Shed Moto Show. So that was a bike that was built, just like when they do a Roland Sands version of something or whatever. It's not going to show up at the dealership.
But if every podcast was like, "Oh my God, look at this bike! If they built it, we'd buy it." I bet you they might.
Oh my God!
But instead,
we're not
they're
gonna buy
hearing-
that.
No, that's what I'm saying. Nobody wants
But
that.
we've seen bikes for the Indian market that we're like, wow, those are hideous and horrible. And the
Yes.
Indian guys are like, no, I want like 1,200 of those.
Well, yes, and that is a problem with different strokes for different folks, and that's a thing that really happens is people get way into that
because
shit.
we were talking about what is it? Oh God, what happened now?
I was trying to fall asleep so you could wake me up to do the outro.
Oh wow!
Like we were talking about the Bajaj Excel a couple of weeks ago, and it was like the most horrible, hideous looking version of the Legend ever, and yet every India, that's what they wanted in India.
There you go, Sleepy. Pull that up.
Uh-oh. How's the nose cam?
I don't know how I find this shit. This is the Yamaha Frog 750, and I didn't make that up. It really is called the Yamaha Frog 750.
That looks like a current advertisement.
This was a prototype.
It looks like somebody took a really
Playmobil.
Yeah, Playmobil for real.
Yeah, I was gonna say
real.
I was gonna say a BMW K1 and like.
But
like,
you remember
took the
when
lines out of
everybody
it.
was doing these quarter front fenders,
Yep.
right? Where everyone was doing the quarter front fenders,
What was
and
the
then
there was a Kojima that had that.
Yeah, Aprilia did something not dissimilar from this that made it all the way to production. But this is a great example of just like step away from the fucking design board. We don't need
the
any
Ducati
more
Passo
of this
was
shit.
like that too.
Passo was also like that. You're absolutely right.
See, this is. So I try to do this with videos and
Right.
whatever, but like a classic design is a classic design.
Correct.
You might say, okay, that's from the 70s, but that looks nice now. This kind of stuff is so period specific.
Yes, it
like
is.
you look at this thing and you're like 86 to 92.
It's BMW K1.
Do you remember
Yeah.
the shoes from Back to the Future,
Yes.
the automatic ones?
Same.
This looks like that shoe.
Yeah,
and
100%.
it also looks exactly like my Lego Lego minifig motorcycle, because this is what the Lego minifig motorcycle looks exactly like.
But
Yeah.
again, thinking about the era.
Yeah.
At least then they were
Right.
thinking about the future.
Yeah, they
and
were.
now we're thinking it's just going to be Mad Max.
It
so.
is just, yeah, there's not a lot of fucks being given right now. Clearly, if those are the two
fuck it,
best,
it's a motorcycle.
if I mean, look, Royal Enfield's a very, very wealthy company.
Oh, yeah.
They got all kinds of money thrown around. They could come up with any damn thing you want. They came up with the Flying Flea, and that's a really cool looking electric motorcycle. I give them credit. They can pull off a winner. I promise you they can. To come up with these two particular motorcycles, the Kingsman and the Frog, those are two fucking ugly motorcycles. And you got to be from a certain sect to look at that and be like, no, that's perfect. They nailed it. They absolutely fucking nailed it. And
No, everybody's got at least one Uncle Jimmy somewhere that would
Yeah.
be like, I'd ride that. That's a fucking bike right there, buddy.
that is, and he's the guy.
I mean, we've been looking at the EV11 the past couple days.
And he's the guy with fender skirts on his Hyundai Sonata.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the guy.
Yeah.
That's the guy with the full JC Whitney upgrade kit on his fucking PT Cruiser.
The Buick portholes that were
Yes.
the fashion for ages.
the stick-on portholes.
My daughter's fifth grade graduation was today, so
Oh, really?
I went during lunch.
Okay.
Whatever, because she leaves this school and goes to the next school, right?
Right.
So we take her to this little ice cream shop. Right, it was like 2:30. We get to the ice cream shop, and this dude drives by on a three-wheeled Harley, right?
Okay, yeah.
But to your point, he comes around. And
Yeah.
he's just got like that guy look that we were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a fucking leather bolo hat on. And like a wolf shirt and thing, but he's like he's our age. He's not that old. He's getting off this fucking three-wheel Harley, and for some reason, out of all the people there, he comes directly over to me and sits down and goes, "What's up, brother?"
I got a collection of shurikens and lizards and snakes, and let me tell you about my sword collection.
Dude, he can smell it on you.
But he comes up and I'm like, "Hey, how's it going?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm just waiting for my my granddaughter or whatever." I was like, "That's cool, that's cool." And I'm like, "What's your name?" He's like, "Bunny."
Bunny?
Bunny.
I love it.
I
That
was
is
like, all
fucking
right.
awesome.
But
Hey,
that
you
guy, he
need-
would buy that
anything I got
fucking
the
Royal
cooler full.
Enfield if he could still ride on two
When you
wheels.
said, hello, buddy, I'm sleepy.
Oh shit! When did the other five dwarves show up?
I left.
That's right. That is fucking
Well,
hilarious.
here's the thing. Since
Hey, Bunny, I'm sleepy.
I just said-
anybody else got a made up name?
I said Steve at that point because I ain't fucking with.
Because you're
Bunny.
like, I don't want to play along with
We're using our made-up names.
I'm
Spider-Man.
Steve said I'm sleepy once he had something in his eye and like winked at him at the same time.
Oh god.
Well, no, I mean, I did blow him, but that was for.
Steve rode home with him on the back of that three-wheeler.
Yeah, you know, I was gonna say they're really smooth once you get up to speed.
Oh, really? I'm a clown too. My name's Magic Pockets. Dude, man, that is so fucking wrong.
His daughter's standing there going, well,
Right, exactly.
Dad, no, don't leave me.
Come on,
please.
this is 4th grade graduation here, man. This is ridiculous.
Look, it's Uncle Funtime's van. Uncle Funtime's van just pulled up.
Mommy, Dad made a new friend. Can you come and get me?
Oh, but dude, this guy was.
Dad's new friend's named Bunny.
He told me that he can't learn a lesson, and the reason that he rides a three-wheeler instead of a two is because he had a terrible accident on this two-wheeler. You know, whatever.
Yeah. There had to be a story.
But the guys at the Harley shop are like, "These bikes don't go that fast," and he was like, "Oh yeah, they do," and they said, "No, they don't." And so he goes, "I immediately went out of the dealership and took it up to 125, no problem." Came back and I said, "What you think about it now?"
And they said, none of us were there, so we think you're full of shit.
It's like, dude, you realize those tires are not speed rated for 125 miles.
I don't think that the ergonomics of that thing could go that
Okay,
fast.
Sleepy?
Yeah.
I on behalf of one of our podcast listeners, no, 3 of our podcast listeners,
Yes.
the term is...
We had this talk.
I can't. I know.
hold on. The term is
Ergonomics.
ergonomics.
I always forget the part.
Well, but the video, in the V100 video, you punctuate it so great, the ergonomics, that one of our viewers chimed in and said, "I am now calling it egronomics for the rest of my life because Sleepy sold it with such authority."
I tried.
It is egronomics for the rest of my life.
Well, let me put it this way.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. That
Oh,
was
that's
off the
fucking
rip.
great.
I didn't have a chance.
No, you
to
did a
read
great
it.
job, and AI didn't do it for you, and you didn't have the standard AI voice that all the fucking videos have, which I thank you for.
No.
Yeah, it's fucking terrible.
So when you do the Moto Morini one next week, you'll get the ergonomics great.
No, he's not going to talk about that. The riding position is splendid.
Fuck yeah. Also, I'm never saying.
not taking
I'm never
any
saying.
chances.
It's always MG now. Phil carries MG.
Why?
Because there's too many people that have opinions on how to say goosey.
It's Moto Guzzi.
Goosey,
Just like
goosey,
pizza.
goosey. Well, there's many phonetical spellings from different people saying it in a couple different ways.
They're wrong. It's Moto Guzzi.
Good.
Right.
There's a TM.
There's a TZ. Right?
Yeah.
Moto Guzzi, just like pizza is pizza.
It's
So I
like
might have
it's
missed.
just like
So they
Czechoslovakia.
were being. So I might have missed the T part of it. So I said Moto Guzzi instead
Guzzi's
of TC.
fine, but
okay.
right.
Well, then you know what?
But
All
I
the
have
people
a-
that had a comment.
Exactly. What did they say about the comments? Don't ever read the comments.
Well,
right.
you know.
I mean, like, isn't that how you always are? I don't know why you're getting all
Why
uptight
would you
about
change
it now.
now?
No, you're
That's
right.
also
You're right.
true. Yeah, I agree with that statement. Oh my God,
Smash him in the face with a tire iron.
that's also an
What's your
acceptable
opinions on the
response.
ergonomics of this tire iron?
Oh man,
Yeah.
How's that feel on your forehead? The
About the same as a cock.
but softer,
How do you
oddly.
know? Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. The would you like to?
How is that from Bunny?
Yeah, right.
Oh, Bunny.
Well,
the
Bunny.
Yeah.
Blake
three-wheel
Meyer.
Harley.
Blake Meyer. We have a new $5 member.
Yay.
So close to the punchlines. Oh, so close. Joshua Clark says, "Hey, I just checked out the Ace Cafe New Hope." Is that like the one after the Phantom Menace?
I think it's like, yeah.
Okay.
Episode
Nice
4.
little place with good food and bike-related photos on the wall, along with a brief history of the original. They seem to have many events here, but I showed up after any of their Sunday events, Josh in Lebanon, PA, and he included some photographs. So please, if you would be so kind as to throw up our photographs of Josh checking out the Ace Cafe in episode 4.
Dude, that mustache, he looks like a villain.
Dude, that fucking mustache.
That's a good mustache,
That is Lemmy
man.
approved facial hair right
Fuck
there.
yeah.
Yeah, he is one mole away from a hit record. Yeah.
I like this dude already.
I do too.
I
He's
want this
fucking
to be.
badass.
I want this to be scrolling.
Yeah, so he says Ace Cafe New Hope says one of my favorite of all of this is wheelies, burnouts, loud revving of engines will not be tolerated in our car park or on the road. This is your place and it only works with your support. It's your cafe. There is nowhere else like the Ace anywhere in the world, well, except for that one in England
Except
I've heard
for
so
the
much about.
Ace Cafe, where they
It's
allow
part of
all
us
of these
all,
things.
so let's preserve it. This unique place can only work with your
Well, I
support.
think they're talking
Super
Ace
cool.
as in like one megala.
Well, but
entity.
Our friend Larry Fletcher had an amazing Ace Cafe in Chicago, and I really long for the days it was here. And somebody's going to put up some pictures of Larry Fletcher's Ace Cafe because it was one of the greatest bars I've ever been to in my goddamn life. And outside of the real Ace Cafe, I think actually Larry might have done a better job. So really cool. He's got some great stuff up on the wall.
I mean,
super fun.
the entire point of the Ace Cafe
But-
is we show up and rev our motors and race each other to the other cafe.
Well, we have done the ClevelandMoto TT. So, but my favorite thing, and Sean's not here, is hanging on the wall, the Leather Boys. Classic 60s British cinema. The Leather Boys. Yeah, that's, I think that might be the follow-up to Bike Riders. Yeah, is the Leather Boys. That's when they moved away from
I
the
did
Harley.
share with you the description of Pillion last week.
Yeah,
so I think that's the
on my
newest
short
version.
list. Can't wait. Yeah, that is. Yeah, gonna rush right out and not see that one. So yeah, I'll wait till that one stumbles across my
on
path
video or
on video or something.
pay-per-view in a hotel late at night.
I was gonna say where nobody knows I've watched it. I don't want that to be in my fucking search history at all.
Meryl
ever.
will know better.
Yeah, that would
Watch
be
that
a
right after.
hell of a lot better.
Right after you watch Tom's Big Toe.
Yeah.
You've heard of James and the Giant
Come on,
Peach.
baby. Come on. I'll
Tom
take
and the Giant
another
Toe.
$10. I'll take it right back off.
So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. So super fun. Yeah, that's pretty neat. We are getting ready for band camp around here.
Yes.
And band camp is a thing. For those of you not in the know, band camp is a motor scooter rally.
And that's going to be weird because I'm leaving Thursday. So
Yeah.
we got to figure out what we're going to do about a podcast.
Yeah, that's
Thursday.
what we have to make plans, right? We have to make plans.
plans.
So the long and short of band camp is it is always been a motor scooter rally where it's a big giant place. It's a Toronto band fathers practice field for marching band practice. It's a big old barn. It's got a lot of things going for it. It's got cabins that I don't recommend you sleep in unless you like big hairy spiders. The cabins.
His name is Steve.
Yes, well, their names are Steve.
Their names.
They have the metal prison bunk beds with no mattress. So you just get the metal frame. Mattress is up to you. You can rent the cabins. I don't know what the going rate is, but it has been done in the past. I strongly recommend tent. Probably best idea. Tent, station wagon, minivan. Good idea. Here's the thing. Despite the roads there being brilliant, and the roads around that place are fucking brilliant, very few times in 25 years have I left the property for anything other than to go a 5-mile jaunt down the road to get pepperoni rolls.
Fireworks store.
Fireworks store. Exactly.
We're both like, motherfucker, don't forget
Don't forget about the fireworks. Don't forget about prison
That's not necessarily
fireworks.
true because you drive back like Saturday morning to go sell like 27 bikes and then come back.
Saturday's usually a big day around the shop, so I tend to drive home a couple of hours to do that, to do the job. So, but I also do still sally forth usually to go pick up pepperoni rolls.
And you know what I didn't? I mean,
Yeah.
I should have known because driving down there, you're obviously on the roads.
Yes,
But when
you
me
are.
and Mark go ripping sometimes, well, especially last year, we were down all these awesome roads, and then we ended up in Irondale.
You're
So, like,
literally there.
Yeah, so like if you're a person that's going to go to band camp, but you have a big bike and you want to go for like a nice ride in the afternoon,
Yes.
the roads are fucking spectacular.
They really
around
are.
there. Yeah.
They really fucking are. And that is one of those places where every road out of band camp, out of the property, is fucking magical in all the directions.
Yeah.
If you don't have your curvy shoes on, you might want to put your curvy shoes on. We've lost a few over the side there. So just make sure you're aware that this is not a place for people that don't
And
have
it's not
shoes.
beginner roads. A lot of them are like blind turns to the left and cresting hills to the right. And it's
kinda how they live
fucking-
And they do a lot
Yeah.
of a lot of fracking in that area, so there are a lot of big trucks
Yes,
that
there
are rolling
are.
through there. So
Yeah.
you got to watch out for that.
Really cool event. If you like the scooter rally kind of thing, then it's going to be real. It's going to be cool for you. If you just want to go have a good time, hang out with a bunch of weird people, you do have to register though. So the reason I wanted to bring this up is just don't fucking show up at the goddamn door. Please. This is a society, Donnie. We have rules.
They're not kidding, man. The first year I went, a couple years ago, I had not registered because I was convinced to go very late.
Yeah.
And I had to prove that I knew like 37 people and
Yeah.
had sex with at least 2 before they let me in
They're
without
like,
registering.
we know Phil, and they're like, that's not enough.
Yeah.
Right.
They're like, everybody here knows Phil. What else you got?
I don't think it. I don't
That
think
pass worked 20 years
Do you
ago.
know anybody from Canada? Do you know anybody from Canada?
I don't think having sex with Pittsburgh Paul really counts.
Right. Name 5 Canadians who are here.
Who are here.
What's going to
Trevor
be
Green,
interesting?
his friend.
So now it's PBSC and
Pittsburgh Vintage Scooter Club.
and
Yep.
Buffalo.
Yep.
And the Snakes are in on it
Snakes
now.
are in on it.
So it's like it's become this almost national thing.
And also, it is the official Lambretta Rally.
Lambretta Rally.
So it is the official Lambretta
And
Rally.
they're giving away a fucking nice bike, man. Did
And
you see it?
they're giving away a Sprint.
Yeah.
They're giving away a real, honest to God, real vintage motor scooter. So that's pretty neat
I
for the
kinda
raffle.
want that pretty
you
bad.
should want that. It's a really
Yeah.
cool bike.
So-
Dan, is your Lambretta going to be ready in time? Come on, Dan, it's a
He's
national
gonna bring
rally.
it. He's gonna do like all the old hot rod guys do and bring the work in progress.
He's going to bring it
he's
and
gonna do a Sean.
trick.
He's gonna do a Sean Stevens.
I don't think it's even a Sean Stevens. There's 90 cocksuckers that do that shit. Yeah, I know all kinds of people that show up.
I'm gonna
to the rally.
rebuild my motor and I'll be ready for Sunday.
Yeah,
Just bring it. Let Tom fix it.
No. Phil has put a 1 hour rule on everything.
Yeah,
I
that
work
is
on.
exactly right. Yeah, because Tom's $120 an hour. If you're not ready to pay to play, don't show up.
Well,
Yeah.
he is on vacation, so he'll take other forms of payment.
That's also true, but I always remind people, I'm like, if Tom's working on your shit, that's $120 an hour.
Yeah.
Like, why should he take any less based on location?
Phil will have the card reader
Yes.
out.
Yeah.
And after the first hour and the stopwatch, it's an hour. It's another hour to continue.
My Venmo is strong, but I don't want to see him or John or anybody. I hate when I see people that are supposed to be having a good time, and they're like sweating it.
right.
And
And
I'm like,
who's gonna have our cocktails ready when we come back if they're not in
Exactly.
the fucking kitchen?
right. So the idea is, I get it, and that's honestly, that's why I bought 2 fucking Colemans.
Yeah.
Is because I can just be like, dude, take the Coleman, right?
Yeah.
Because the idea is, I want everyone to have a good time. I want everybody to have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to be like, oh my God, I'm compelled to go work on this thing because I want this guy to have a great time. Hey, you want that guy to have a great time? Throw him a Coleman. And next year, he'll show up with a Coleman.
For 2 years, I've had a Bajaj, and I'm like, well, I'm going to put the knobby tires
Yeah.
on it and the fog lights and everything else. And this year, like, we're coming down to the wire, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to kickstart the Coleman.
Do you know what? They're fucking. We're going to bring 3 buddy scooters
Yeah.
with us. We're going to bring 2 Colemans. We're going to be set up.
Yeah.
And as long as I have something around the place on, I don't ever need to take a hot lap ever again. I've got 4 fucking Mexicana trophies.
Cocktail in one hand.
Yeah, that's it,
Oh,
man.
I'm going for a
Yeah.
speed record.
Yeah, that's the joke.
You're going to be racing.
I'm going to get a quarter-mile on grass world's record.
What's the kid's name? Neil?
They're all.
I don't know, that 200cc Lambretta. I mean, we were doing 65,
Yeah.
full fucking chat last year. It was fun.
There are people that take it way too
Do you have
seriously.
the address? Do you have their address for that in case anybody's interested? Because we have mentioned the name, but we
Bandcamp?
have and everything else. We just have not mentioned where to go to if you want to register.
Here you go. You want to register? Pittsburgh Vintage Scooter Club, PVSC.
What the
Bandcamp? How much to rent down for
120.
an hour? $120, honestly. Same price as downtown.
But they want to know. They're only going to pay.
Does the carpet match the drapes? Shaved clean.
There's nothing better than a finely yarn scrotum.
Finally shown Tom.
That shit gets itchy.
Thanks to our old sponsor, Naked Balls.
Ball shavers. If you like your balls shaved, you'll like
Right.
ball shavers.
We
Yeah.
had the clam scaper. Now we got the Tom shaper.
The Tom Shaper.
Well, I do need something for this because it's actually a little shaggy.
Oh my.
My hair is almost as long as Johnny Mac's.
Yeah, that is there. But the thing with Bandcamp is, it is, generally speaking, it's a really good time. We have a lot of fun, and if you're into it, or if you're even,
What are the dates they were asking?
Yes, it is the June 14th weekend.
There you go.
So it is the weekend of June 14th. That is also my 56th birthday. Yay! Every once in a while, the actual event of Bandcamp lands on my birthday proper, and this is one of those years. So it's super fun. Yeah. So that's a thing.
27. I can't believe you're only 27 years old.
I know, it's shocking, isn't it? Yeah.
So I have breaking news.
Yes, please. Breaking news.
So if you remember, I
Yes.
told you guys, besides the road rage fight I got into,
Yes.
the following week,
Yes.
I witnessed the truck go off the road with the
Yes, you
drunk
did.
guy.
With the drunk guy, yeah.
So just to recap real quick, I was going to work 7 a.m. Dude in front of me was swerving like like hammered town, like 2.8%, like in his bloodstream, hammered.
Yeah.
And the road we're on goes up and down, like, you know, just like insanely up and down. And so I realized that every time he'd go down, he'd also be in the left lane.
Oh, really? He'd
like completely
go down and left.
in the left
Yeah.
lane, and then overcompensate to the right, almost hit mailboxes, come back to the left. It was a fucking disaster, right?
Right.
And so I back off because I'm like, well, I don't want to get involved in this dude's fuck up, right?
Yeah, for real.
But then we get to these big hills, and I look, and now I've backed off enough that I'm cresting the hill behind it, so I can see what's coming and see him down there.
Oh, yeah.
He's going up the wrong side, and a pickup truck is coming, and I'm like, oh, fuck. And they miss each other by like a millimeter, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm really freaked out because it didn't affect the dude. He's still driving
He's
like
still
that,
driving
right?
like an asshole.
So what comes over the next hill? A fucking semi dumper. So it's like a semi cab with a dump truck back. Those big motherfuckers.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh, dude, this dude's
This is
fucking
it.
dead, right?
Yeah.
Truck comes over, sees the dude, all fucking 18 lock
Yeah.
up. The dude's, I didn't know if he hit him or not, but swiped sideways. The truck goes like this, hits the ditch, rolls over. The whole fucking truck rolls to the right
Yeah.
in front of me.
Yeah.
So I stop, and the truck driver, like a fucking movie, kicks the door open and jumps out of the fucking truck.
Really?
I'm like, are you okay? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I'll get the plate. He's like, get that motherfucker. So like I jump in my car and I go down the street, and I went a little fast. You know?
Sure, fair enough.
But I get up to the end. I mean, this dude is gone, right?
Yeah.
But now to get on the highway, there's a stop sign, and he's at the stop sign. There's two cars and
All
me.
right.
All I want to do is get this dude's license
All I
plate
gotta do is
number,
get
right? I'm
license
not
plate.
contacting him.
Right.
I'm not talking to him. So there's traffic, and he can't go. And I'm like, should I pull up next to him? But then there's cars pulling in. I'm like, fuck. So I'm sitting there waiting. He hangs a left and takes the fuck off.
Right.
The two people in front of me are 109. They are like, there's a
they're going
truck
super
that's
slow.
like 35 miles
They're not
that
going
way. And they're
anywhere.
not. So I'm like, fuck it. I pull around both of them, cross the fucking highway, and head left.
Yep.
I can't see the dude. He's so far ahead of me. So I'm like, fuck. And I don't want to get a ticket or anything. So I go up to like 85, 90, but I'm not going faster. Right. And I'm like, well, hopefully I'll catch him. Well, the light is there.
Oh.
And there's about 8 cars, and he's in the back of
and
this
he's got to
thing.
stop.
So like I'm coming, and it's almost, he's like, the cars start going as I'm approaching, and he's just about to turn, and I'm like, you know? And so I look, and I got it, man. And it was like his license plate in the car, and on the back of it, it said, my other car is a locomotive. Okay? I was like, oh, this motherfucker's a train driver, got off
engineer.
at 5 in the morning,
Right. Yeah.
is hammered, and now he's going home. Now it makes sense, right? So anyway, so I called it in, and the lady that I talked to, the sergeant, was like, well, I'm going on scene right now.
Yeah. And
I was like, can you do me one solid? And she's like, what? I'm like, can you tell the truck driver that the guy that said he would get the license plate number got it? Because I know that dude is fucked. Like his CDL is going to have, you know, and I want to make sure that there's somebody that, you know, hey.
You
know?
got to confirm the fact that he didn't just fucking run off the road because he fell asleep.
Well, that's why I brought this up, because I'm going to get an opportunity.
Right.
They're allowing this person into a court.
Oh my God.
Mr. Cinch, you will be subpoenaed by the prosecutor to
As
appear
an
in
expert
Medina
witness.
Municipal County. Yes, as a witness to the above referenced case against Mr. So-and-so, Michael something.
Right.
So where your regular going to court suit?
I have a
this
going
time-
to town hat though.
Right. I was going to say, he's got a special
But the regular suit you wear going to
the
court.
pink one.
Yeah, the pink one.
Oh,
DGR
definitely.
suit.
Wear that
Oh,
one.
yeah.
But understand, you're not going to be the one going to jail.
Right.
Right.
I mean, it's not like normal.
Yeah.
It's not out of the realm of possibilities.
Well, I did kind of think that this might be like they were like, okay, he did report this,
Right.
But now we have his info, and he would come in for this. So I thought about like what did I might have in
How
the
many
past.
warrants do you have
Yeah,
out
I got
for?
them good. I got nothing. I think
It's not a bad idea to make sure that you're squeaky clean before you deliver yourself to the hand of justice.
I also want a free boat.
But listen, but anybody listening though, man, like I don't do shit. I would never call cops for any reason. But this dude, like he almost killed people.
Yes.
Like he was fucking shit hammered. Like did not need to be on the road. Like I was gonna call him
or a
on.
diabetic thing or something like
Who
that.
knows?
No, because he fucking once
He's
the
a danger.
adrenaline hit,
Right.
he sobered the fuck up. Like it was like, you know how like when you're hammered and you get the adrenaline, you're like, hey, I'm not that drunk anymore. Like, you know, like, but I don't know. But that'll be interesting. I'll report back.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Turns out
neat.
the guy's name was Bunny.
It was. And on that, my friends, remember to ride fast and take chances. Play us out here, Johnny.
Bum, 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 bum.